So they went into the Badlands to try and recover him. Led to all kinds of crazy hijinks. Basically, they have encountered what is the Legion, which is basically a hostile military force of hobgoblins, complete with a general, and basically they encountered, I guess, what we could call almost a Guantanamo Bay / research place, and they encountered some bad things there. Then they came to the city of Ash, which I already alluded to once in this campaign, actually, briefly. But basically, they're trying to get a hold of a dagger that's within the city of Ash, but in order to do that, they have to have keys. Some of the keys are held by some of the players. The Legion has some of the keys. They went back to Durin to stash one of these keys away in safekeeping, and they've managed to convince the dwarves now are actually kind of mobilized, and they have an army heading into the Badlands.
Nice.
They arranged, so when I mentioned dwarves, dwarf emissaries that were securing, use of boats just in case, that has actually become relevant, and now the armies are going to use elvish navies to get across the sea to the Badlands, into the city of Ash.
Oh man.
So basically what's going to happen...
The dwarves are a pretty unified bunch, seems like.
Do what?
The dwarves on the whole are a pretty unified bunch.
Well, at the same time, Beastbane was... Beastbane is... he has not encountered a war or a battle he doesn't like. So...
Yeah.
True.
He would totally be on board.
Except for when we came to town.
Well, yeah, there was that. And that also got alluded to in that campaign. It's fun trying to keep all the consistencies between these two. Anyway,
that's funny.
In fact, they actually came, and it's weird. The timing, the actual real life timing on this is pretty funny. So on Tuesday of last week, you guys left Alderaan. On Thursday of that week, the other group made it to Alderaan.
Oh shit! So were they able to even get in?
They were, after talking to the guards, and one of the guards recognized who Eladrin was.
Oh wow!
But yes, I did obviously bring up the fact that there were guards everywhere. Everything was on high alert. They even talked to Lord Bulmer. So, it's yeah. So
yeah.
That's the thing.
That's cool.
Did you tell them that Gerbo murdered Lorsan?
Nope.
No, they don't know.
They don't know that.
Oh yeah, well.
Brett is the only one that knows, but he's not going to say it. But all they know is that the former, Lord Lorsan was assassinated. They don't know any other. They know as much as the authorities know.
That's so
great.
That's crazy. Let's hope they don't decide to research it.
Investigate it. They don't pick that as the side quest.
Oh my god, though.
That would be something. That would be David.
Could you think about this for a second?
David will be the one.
And he's like this
guys.
Gerbo. Oh my
god.
Guys,
I think I know what happened. If David pieces it together.
Pieces it together.
That would be amazing.
That would be genuinely funny.
And then we're on the run forever.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, we're it's like Grand Theft Auto 5, and we're just doing our thing, no problem, and then 5 stars pop up at the top, and SWAT teams come in.
Yeah. Ceaseless backup plan of faking Gerbo's death.
Yeah,
that would be amazing.
That would be pretty amazing.
I wouldn't even do that.
No, it'd be pretty.
No. They are offering to assist.
Nice.
And they were thinking of reaching out to Eladrin, who they haven't actually met yet.
Nice.
Oh, they'll love him.
Oh my gosh.
They did also, and I will say this, they did also encounter, the night before they made it to Alderaan, while they were camping in the forest, they did encounter a pretty wild group of druids.
Nice.
I guess you could more or less call them beastmen, though, because, well, there was a bonfire, a lot of meat was eaten, there was also an orgy.
Wow.
It's exciting.
Why are you holding out on our campaign, Drew?
What is murder not spicy enough for you? Like,
No.
Well,
we already
bonfires
went
and
to-
orgies sound exactly like David and Steven.
Yeah, classic.
I'm
Wait,
shocked.
what?
I'm only shocked it's taken this long.
I'm pretty sure we were in a raging brothel like 2 sessions ago. So
you guys were in a raging yeah, right.
It's true.
We kept it pretty PG-13, I would say.
It's true.
yeah,
Barely.
Had an orgy had Gerbo not killed his brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You could have happened. It could have played out that way. We don't know.
Not
We'll
necessarily.
never know now.
Yeah, when Drew
Cella was enticing him pretty well.
covered in barbecue sauce.
Yes.
Mhm.
I
Right.
don't know
People
how
are
you
into
guys.
that.
I don't know how you guys usually start orgies, but
Some people are into
Come on.
that stuff. Oh yeah, slap that melon.
Wow.
thank you for
So
that.
satisfying.
Brett,
In
I have to
the
say you
context,
picked a
felt very
great time.
special.
You picked a great time to start streaming. Very well done.
oh, I started like
Very
5
well
minutes
done.
ago.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Good.
Welcome
Right.
to the War of the Gods.
Yeah, this
Where we'll be
the
slapping
episode,
that melon.
the
No
episode of
context.
this version is this recording is called "Slap the Melon."
And you just have to wait till the end to find out when we're gonna slap another melon.
Yeah,
Oh,
it'll happen.
jeez.
It'll happen.
That'll be
like-
the big. That'll be the big reveal.
Yeah, exactly. Where did they get the melon, and when are they gonna slap it?
Where did it come
Well,
from?
that's when we break out
That'll
into a
be the
full
big-
advertisement for Cave City watermelons.
Oh,
Yes, this episode our sponsor is Cave City Watermelon.
that's
That's right. That's right.
Well, they had to cancel their watermelon festival this year,
Aw.
and everybody was in a roar. But it was going to cost them like $3,000 just for PPE.
No.
And
Yeah,
protective workers.
that's not
And
feasible.
Cave City probably has 3,000 people in it. So
Yeah.
I mean, their
Yeah.
festival I think brings in around 10,000, 15,000 people if I remember what the mayor
Wow.
told me.
Wow.
But yeah, still, I think that they should have watermelon farm tours. That would be awesome.
Yeah, you
That's
could be
so
socially
fun.
distanced for that.
Because like this
Good idea.
this family that I bought the melon from, they do theirs in greenhouses,
Oh,
and,
nice.
and they like rotate from indoors to outdoors, and so like different families have different tasting melons. So,
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. We thought about trying to grow a melon or a pumpkin in our little veggie garden that we started up this week.
Mhm,
They take up a
Oh,
lot of space, obviously.
mhm.
Yeah.
Pumpkin.
Little
You
pumpkin.
could start a pumpkin patch. Maybe that's Gerbo's retirement plan as a pumpkin patch.
Pumpkin
Man,
patch.
he's really slid down the ladder in terms of his need for luxury. Then That's,
Well,
Yeah.
you know, after you murder your brother, you kind of have to go into
Gerbo's.
hiding.
What if Gerbo has like an entire change of heart? Like he becomes a new person. He realizes what
Oh,
really
shit.
matters in life.
He
He
No, that'll never happen.
He becomes like a pumpkin.
cleric. He becomes a cleric.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That would be pretty. That would be a pretty intense character shift.
He,
The
he
wood.
calms down dramatically.
My later years,
Yeah.
that would be a pretty big shift.
It would.
I love it.
It's all in your hands.
Oh my god. Wow. Last episode we managed to flee the House Aldrin, and I cannot believe that we actually did it, but we convinced in the chaos I cried in my drunken state.
Right.
Um,
Gerbo
and
did nothing to help himself at all.
Yeah.
It was everyone else.
I
trying
let
to-
everybody else solve my problems for me,
Right.
which you
There's-
know is
In
I mean-
character.
in character.
Yeah.
There's one big
Very
problem though. Braundir knows who killed him.
Well, yes.
Both of you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ephelien's probably
That
gonna
matters.
care.
Yeah.
Ephelion just thinks it was a bad decision, not necessarily immoral in her perspective,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Braundir obviously cares a great deal, as he should.
We framed the murder on the like the specific crew. I forgot what they were, like the
You guys like I mean,
Cultists.
more specifically, Ephelien planted the evidence on some poor, nameless adventurer.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
that's right. With like
It was the belt.
the belt and
The belt and the crossbow.
Yeah, and in the chaos, we fled out a secret door that was on the second story.
We built a fort in the woods.
We built a fort in the woods. Y'all went back. Cella and Ephelien went back.
Well, there was a lot of talking as to what the hell to do.
Yeah.
And at
There
one
was.
point, everyone was like, well, maybe you should just fake your own death, or we could actually kill you.
Yeah,
Braundir being
that was pretty.
most in
that
favor
was
of the
pretty
latter.
wild shit.
Yeah.
That's definitely.
Well, what can you say about the last episode? We fled from the tavern, we built a fort in the woods, drove a permanent wedge between an undying friendship.
Yeah.
A fledgling friendship.
Mhm.
Fledgling, yeah.
And I actually left it on the table that if it did come down to it, we could figure out a way to fake my death.
Yeah, it's the backup plan if we get found
Yeah.
out later.
It's not ideal, but I'm open to it.
Right.
Everybody does know that. Y'all went back into the kingdom, talked to I don't know who.
We talked to
and I don't know.
Volmer.
And I don't-
Volmer.
Eladrin.
yeah, and we don't know what was said, which is
Other
okay.
than you said it's taken care of, I think.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's been taken care of.
which is cool.
Right.
And then we came back to the this little dock area to get the little Sebastians.
That's right. You had to get the little Sebastians and your wagon.
By the way, if they ever
Heart.
make it, the other campaign ever makes it over here, and you don't mention the little Sebastians, I'm gonna be mad.
I figured the Dockmaster will remember the little Sebastians.
Yeah, it's a good call.
He better. We paid
Hard-
fine.
hard
We
to
paid
get.
fine gold for him to hold those.
That's right. I don't remember the exact amount you paid him, but I mean, it was a
I
lot.
need to send money and just pay off the debt or just buy the Sebastians outright. Or tell him to talk to Cathris.
Mm.
Say, hey, it's gonna be a little bit longer.
Your sugar mama, literally.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Literal.
Sort of.
Control of the
When it's your mom.
The mama
When it's your
part's
mom,
literal.
is it just your mama?
She's not a pillar of sucrose.
Like, I don't have access to all.
Here's my pillar of sugar. It is my mother.
From which I was born.
Yeah, believe it or not. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
That's where we're at.
Okay.
And now we've decided that we will collectively head south to the Wind Temple.
Mhm.
That's right. Okay. Oh, what
Hi.
Yep.
is that, Sydney?
Cute mask.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Ask the group. What'd you say?
Okay, I'm looking for a diffuser. I'm finishing up my target key cards. No, for the bedroom. This
A
one is
diffuser.
like a dingy terracotta. Or this one. It's just like
Oh.
white with like spun.
I don't know what your bedroom decor looks like. I've never been in your
Oh my gosh,
bedroom.
here we go.
It's like green. We've got
This is
green
all
picking
happening within the campaign.
color-ish.
That one's definitely more masculine, like the terracotta. If you're going for like more of the neutral,
Mm.
building our nest together kind of vibe.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was very modern, very clean looking.
Very eggy.
Yeah.
Looks like a lemon drop.
They're the same price and they hold the same amount of water and diffuse with
Interesting. What would Braundir do?
What would Braundir do? Braundir
Braundir would break both of them. I don't know,
Oh,
Sid.
the first side quest of
Yeah.
Gosh.
session.
I
This
guess.
is the real, this is the real side quest right here.
I mean, the white one would probably look better in our bedroom
There you go.
Okay.
because like the other one's so close to our headboard color, but we're not always gonna have that headboard color. So,
Yeah, that's true.
White is versatile.
but you already have a white one, so unless you want more white ones, you have.
Hey, Drew.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that the dock leader.
How
is
about
in
you buy
Voon.
the terracotta one?
Say that again, Gareth.
The dock leader.
Okay with the group.
His name was Voolen.
Okay,
Vootland?
they
Okay,
said
Voolen.
yes.
Jetty, why?
Okay.
I'm talking. Why you do this?
Can you find out Gareth's getting his MBA?
Yeah, he's getting his MBA.
I told it.
I know. I told him.
Really good.
Yeah. He just has to pass algebra.
Yep.
He can do
That'll
it.
be good.
I can do it.
Okay.
Geometry.
That's awesome. All
All
right.
right. Love you. Bye.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Jet's making a lot of noise here.
I
So, Drew, I just realized maybe you could use that Fey feat. I was looking at it. Maybe you could use that Fey feat to represent the
Oh.
Fey bond.
I completely forgot. Think you just reminded me, Brett.
Well, I'm saying maybe you could use that Fey feat to represent the Fey bonded items.
Yes. So I'm gonna go ahead and put yes. That's true. That is a good idea, and that's probably something I should be doing. But they have created more unearthed arcana. Basically, they've added new feats.
Sweet.
You can be a chef.
And yeah, you could be a chef.
What?
You can be chef.
I can be chef. I can sprinkle salt on everything.
On everything.
Freaking chef it.
I mean, Gerbo is in search of a new lifestyle.
What if that's like my new calling?
Tinker with food.
I could tinker with food.
I could imagine gnomes being great chefs actually because of that. We're
There's also
extremely-
Artificer Initiate if you want to be a tinkerer.
Yeah. Wait, Jet just said, do they bake the Toll House cookies?
Of course they do.
Of course they
Oh
do.
my god.
Obviously.
I didn't even think about that, Jet. That's amazing. What a great idea.
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry.
I
I can hear everything. I can always hear you guys.
Okay,
Cracker.
that's good. That's good.
Holy
So
crap. That's amazing.
what I was saying is I made a link, or I posted a link for the new feats that they've created,
Slasher.
and I'm basically allowing, if you guys have chosen a feat,
I don't think
I'm allowing you guys to switch. You can switch out feats if you like. If you see any of these, strike your fancy, go for it.
But that's like we had to pass up on an increase
An
in
ability.
our constitution or our ability or okay.
Right, an ability improvement. Right. You would
Yeah.
take a feat as opposed to an ability score improvement. That's right.
Gotcha.
Right,
I think-
yeah.
I don't
I've
think
done
I've done
ability score improvements to this point.
Now
But
Brett
this-
has chosen a feat.
If you have
Oh.
And
if
I
you have
believe
an odd
Braundir has chosen.
if you have an odd ability score, you can choose a feat that gives you +1, and then that'll bump it up. Because your modifier goes up every even number.
Wait, say that one more time.
So like if you have a 16 and a 17, it's the same modifier. So if you have like a 17,
Oh,
you can get a feat that gives you +1 that'll bump you up to 18, and you'll get the rest of the feat on top of it. Rather than bumping it up to 19, which wouldn't be any different than 18.
Right.
interesting.
That's cool. That makes sense.
I'll have to go through this.
So basically if you have odd numbers, you can make it more efficient by getting +1 and then also getting other stuff.
Yeah, like my charisma is 15, and I could bump that to 16.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. That's cool. This chef feat though, I'm kind of into it.
It's
Yep.
pretty sweet, yeah.
Yeah.
For a short rest, you can cook a special food, provided you have the ingredients, the cook utensils on hand. Yeah.
That's fun. That's fun.
Yes. But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. Well, they all look pretty balanced. Let's see here.
What if Gerbo got Crusher? That would be freaking awesome.
Does Gerbo have any bludgeoning weapons though?
No, literally.
No, he does not. He does not. Yeah,
Literally
Gerbo with a
one.
warhammer. There we go.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Wow.
That's so good. Although
But yeah,
Poisoner would be badass.
Yeah, Poisoner actually makes the classic assassin rogue poison like a thing.
Yeah.
It makes it actually a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I wanted to bring that to your guys' attention. You can mull it over, read it over, see what you think. Anyway, so you guys are going to travel back to the dock where you guys stored the little Sebastians. And I assume you're going to go, like, when you go in, there's a lot less traffic than there was when you first entered. It's not raining anymore, obviously. It's actually a bright and sunny day. And there's not as many boats as there was in the dockyard. So there's not as many people that are here at the moment. Fulin's behind the bar counter, kind of just busying himself, washing dishes, washing steins.
Nice.
When he notices you guys walk in, he says, "Oh, you're back."
An ale, please.
Oh,
Braundir
certainly.
promptly sits down.
We came
All right.
for the small sassy horses. Anywhere
You're
around?
not kidding about the sassy part, man.
Braundir's dead serious. Looks up and said, "Don't talk about my horses like that."
Sorry, this one's been a bit touchy since we left House Aldrin.
Braundir finishes the pint. Another.
That was quick.
All right, yeah, sure, I'll get you another one. All right. He gives you another stein. Anyone else want anything while they're here?
I look at Vulin and say, is Harik around?
No, I haven't seen him past couple days. Then again, I haven't seen many folks around the last couple of days. Things have gotten a little too dangerous for the usual shipyard work.
Well, that is true. I heard there was a giant on the water.
Yeah, pretty wild stuff. I think I heard. Well, you guys came from House Aldrin. What's going on up there?
Well, anyone else want to tell us?
There's chaos. I mean, what? It was
Gerbo's-
pretty crazy.
Gerbo's childhood friend and older brother was horrifically assassinated.
Really?
So, needless to say, if anybody asks, I wasn't here.
Okay. Huh. Well, that is bad. I don't really. Normally, I get all my news from all the fishermen that come through here, but there hasn't been very many of those, so.
Well, I'm surprised that it hasn't picked back up since we dealt with the problem in the lake.
Wait, you did?
As she flips her hair. Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Oh, so wait, is the giant gone?
Just as gone as this stein is empty. One more.
Oh well.
I think
At this
Braundir.
point, he's not even going to give you a stein. He's going to give you more of a small cask.
Yeah. He looks at this, and he's gonna reaches in pocket, gives him 5 gold for it,
Nice.
which I guess is way more than those steins are worth.
Yeah, it would definitely be way more. He kind of his eyes go wide, and he's like, "Oh, thank you, man. Oh, okay."
Braundir here actually has I believe a tooth from the giant or something. What did you take from him?
He got a scale.
You mean this giant scale on my back?
Is that what's on your back? I was wondering this
Wait.
whole time.
Turn around. Let me see it. Come on.
I'm not getting up. If you want to see it, you can come around the side.
I walk behind there and say, "Well, it does look very fleshy."
Gross.
And
One of the bar people in the one of the people in the back just say, "Yeah, he's got something looks like a big scale in his back."
Thank you, sir.
Literally what I just said.
You can go back to whatever you're doing now. This conversation doesn't concern you.
All right, thanks, Reggie. You could go on. You can go on now.
Who is that guy? Can he come with us? Can he just follow us at a distance and yell things?
Yeah, they said he sucked.
I feel like there's a Family Guy episode about that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I could just imagine. Yeah, we defeated that Hydra. You guys ran away.
What?
Yeah. The voice calling out in the desert. You
It's
tell
like
me.
it's like the minstrels in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Brave Sir Robin, Sir Robin.
Yeah. He bravely ran away. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Did not. Yeah.
That's
be great.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Anyway, so Giant's dead. Everything's fine with the temple and everything. It's done. You
Mostly.
did what you got to do.
It's a good way to put it.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
Well,
hopefully things clear up around here. Obviously, it's very empty right now, but the goal
what-
is that eventually it'll be open again.
Hey, you want anything stronger than ale? I'm in a more giving mood all of a sudden.
No, this is fine. I need to pace myself. Got a
What
long
you
journey.
got? But obviously, I'm interested.
I mean, we got ourselves a couple different types of liquors here.
Now hold on, Gerbo. You said you would drive the Sebastians first.
Have I ever driven the Sebastians ever?
That's what
I wouldn't
you
trust
offered.
those,
I mean, I'm just reminding
I
you what
wouldn't-
you said.
I wouldn't trust that gnome with those precious beasts. With
Are you
my
going
life
to make a
dependent on it.
persuasion roll? Are you
I'm
trying to
staying,
persuade me?
I am staying clean out of this. I
Are
was
you
just,
making a deception roll?
was just repeating what you said. I didn't. There's no deception. You said it. You can back out.
You would have to make a deception roll.
But you said, and I
clearly
quote,
did not.
I'll be the designated driver so that maybe Braundir hates me a little bit less.
Go ahead and make that.
You did
Quote
say that.
unquote.
You did say it.
Boy, I mean, I guess that is deception ultimately, but yes. Oh wow.
Fine. Cella's not very charismatic.
Yeah.
Oh!
How did you?
You are
19.
hella charismatic right now.
Because I have a -1.
Oh my god. I half damage.
Half damage. You just take damage from that. You just choose to get hurt yourself.
Gerbo
Yeah, but
Palm.
well, okay.
All right.
You're gonna regret convincing me to drive it, though. Okay, fine. If you think that's okay, then I will drive the Sebastians.
I mean, I don't care. I'm just telling
Fine.
you what you said.
It's fine.
Okay. All right. Well, this is going to be another garbage trip. You're both already ruining it, and I'm going to go wait outside until.
Tell me, Cella. How did I ruin something? Please enlighten me.
Well, if all you're going to do is skulk in a corner and drink yourself to liver failure, it's not going to be a very fun trip, Braundir, eh?
If anyone should be drinking, it is me. I'm the one that had a brother who died.
I'm going to go wait outside.
I'd say at this point, Vulin himself is kind of backing away for this. He's kind of watching you guys starting to
He's just like
starting to
nervous.
go at each.
He's polished a hole in the bottom of the glass now. Just
Right?
really-
Yeah. He's just like, I'm staying out of this one.
Yeah, with, like big eyes, like
Uh,
back and forth, like looking back and forth.
Yeah, right. Just kind of looking. He'll actually. What
I'll
about
take-
you? He's gonna point at Ephelien. What about you? You want anything?
I'll take one of those stiff drinks.
Certainly. He's gonna give you a stein.
I
full
slowly
of
back away
whiskey.
and go outside as well.
All right, Ephelien, you have yourself a stiff drink. I can get you some ice if you want it. It's just warm otherwise.
I don't think I need any eyes. Thank you.
All right, fine. Here you go. So, who's outside right now?
Cella is.
Gerbo.
Yeah.
Did Gerbo just walk outside or starting to walk outside? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, did you catch the implication of her not wanting eyes?
Oh, yeah.
Her homeland is frozen over and dead.
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
rejecting all the cold things.
So she,
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I thought she just didn't want to be fancy.
that's
Well,
it.
probably that too. But yes, I didn't. I don't know
imagine
why I
ice
didn't
is a
think of that.
delicacy.
Well, not where she's from.
Cella is digging at the base of a tree for mushrooms, like she do.
Okay.
Okay.
I exit the dock area, the bar, and see Cella digging for mushrooms, and just am like,
Okay.
that's weird. And I walk around towards where the Sebastians were held.
Right. I can't remember. I think you guys paid in full,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
like from the start. So it's not like you need. You can just come and pick them up.
We don't owe up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you owe anything. In fact, I mean, the 5
So-
more gold makes you more than owing anything.
hmm
So, okay, yeah, there's a stable hand, or stable
Okay.
boy, I guess. That's
I
there
walk
to
up.
kind of.
I walk up towards the stable and
Yeah.
make a perception roll.
Okay,
Nice.
so looking at the stable, I should have put in a stable in the map, but anyway, it looks as if, like just from your perception roll, there's considerably less like horses and other drawn like other animals that are kind of stowed away as normal. You do see the Sebastians in the back. Normally there's one stable to a horse, but there's 2 in every one stable for a Sebastian.
They're tiny.
They're
Nice.
paired up. And you see was it a wagon? I think it was a wagon or a
Mhm.
cart.
It was like a coach.
It's like a covered wagon.
It was a covered wagon, tiny
was.
covered wagon.
It was
I
like
thought
a
it was-
Western Union thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or-
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was a covered wagon in my brain. But
Well,
I guess
I think we went back and forth on it. Where
We did,
like,
yeah.
I think maybe I did send a covered wagon thing. I can't
You
remember.
sent
yeah,
him to a
with
wagon.
the tiny horses. Yeah, you
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
did.
it's like a stagecoach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it started as a covered wagon, and then I found that picture, and
Yep,
it's really good.
it's too perfect.
Wow. Wow.
So
Okay. So yeah, you see that. You also see the stable boy that's kind of just sweeping up the straw and just cleaning up.
I'm going to inquire. I'm going to say, so tell me what do you know about these little Sebastians here?
Huh? What? Oh yes, sir. Fine little horses they are. A little stubborn though.
Well,
Very particular on their food.
yes. Well, I'd say so. I'm actually here to pick them up.
Okay, yeah.
Can we name?
What's your name?
Can we name all the Sebastians?
I mean,
Well,
obviously.
I'm Gerbo. We dropped them off. Well, I don't know how long ago, but it's been a little while. And
It says here they were dropped off by a fellow's named Braundir's name.
yes, well, Braundir he's inside. He is drinking, and he sent me out here to pick them up. If you would like to go inside, you can confirm he is the dwarf drinking, and I can't tell you his current state, but he was slowly drinking his sorrows away.
Well, I mean, I don't doubt that the dwarf was drinking. I mean, sun sets, water's wet, you know.
It's what they do.
Okay, Oliver
thing.
Twist.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm gonna slowly like open up the gate to one of them.
Okay.
Wait, which gate? Do they have their names on the gates by now?
Yeah, I guess they would. Of course.
Willow.
Indy.
Those are the two in that stall.
Yep.
Name them after our dogs and
Yep.
your 2 cats. That's funny.
Meta.
There was 4, right? Yeah. Oh man, or was there
Yeah, there's
6?
4.
I thought there were
Four.
6, but I don't know.
There's 6, I think.
Okay. So we have
Hopper.
Willow, Hopper, Indy, Henri, then
Need two
Dasher,
more.
and Dancer.
Bashful and sneezy.
And then we have Stephen and David. We can name it after our old party.
Oh god. Oh no.
That's
Oh
what
no.
we're doing.
Okay.
No.
It's
Okay. Willow, Indy, Henri, Hopper, Stephen, and David.
no, we gotta get. I think we should scrap the dog and the cat names and just name them after our old party.
Zach,
Straight
Gareth,
up.
Jet, Drew, or Stephen, David, Emily.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's
Drew, this is gonna be a garbage night. We're gonna be nonsense all night long. You're welcome.
it's just a bunch of nonsense from start to finish.
Yeah,
I can feel it.
I think that's the time it's gonna go.
Yep.
All right. Well,
So who's on the stall? Who's in the stall that I go into? There's 2 of them.
yeah, sure. David and Steven are in it.
Perfect.
Why not?
So I pick up David's hoof and I investigate it.
Worst thing.
Well, so make an animal handling check real quick. Okay. As you attempt to lift up the hoof, Steven kicks you.
Okay.
So, like, take a D10 of bludgeoning damage.
3.
All right, you take 3 damage. And you
And
get
then
knocked
I call
onto the
out.
floor.
I call out, well, everything seems to be in order in here. I
The
guess.
stable boy comes to you. Are you all right? That took
All
a pretty
good.
good hit there.
Yep, all good. Just making sure they, their hoofs are still in order. And nobody has stolen their horseshoes, and haven't taken them out onto the rocky areas and injured them. Typical horse stuff.
Well, I mean, no. I mean, I usually try and take out the horses for a walk every so often, so I don't know, cooped up. That one in
Wow.
particular is a bit of a bruiser. He's a bit angry. That one.
Oh
Anyway.
yeah. Which one is the bruiser? You which one was it?
He points to the one named Steven. Like, just kicked you for trying to without any like prompting, pick up his
That's
fucking
funny.
Amazing.
hoof. So,
I'm going to try and jump up on him. Make an acrobatics roll.
all right, make an animal handling. Oh my god.
Oh, my animal handling is bad.
Oh my god.
All right, you get on his back, and he immediately like bucks and rears around, and he is running out of the stable.
Yes. Do I hold on? Do I hold on?
Okay, roll acrobatics again, I guess. See that athletics.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
You do hold on,
we have a
and
12.
you are now galloping around
It's like mutton
outside.
busting.
You're pretty much one of those bull riders that's your arm is caught in it.
Fucking
Yeah.
Bronco. Yeah.
Oh, but it's like
Yes.
the mutton busting where they put the small to the backs of sheep. That's Gerbo.
Uh,
Okay, so I'm outside. So what does Cella see?
What does
Cella, as you're
Wait, let me
digging
roll
around,
perception to see if she even notices.
well, first make a nature roll.
Me nature roll?
Yeah,
Nope.
you.
Yeah, you.
Yep, me? Is that coming through?
Negative Ghost
Oh
Rider.
no.
That's why.
Oh, I just disconnected, didn't I? Can you guys still see me?
No.
Darn. Hold on, let me see if this, maybe it'll be quick this time.
Oops.
No.
Right when I call upon her.
Yeah, here,
What's your
roll a d20 for me, and
Uh-huh.
I have a +5 in nature.
so 16?
16. You find some serviceable mushrooms and fungi.
Man, I love some good fungi.
It's probably about 2 rations worth for you.
Awesome.
So add 2 rations to your
Thank you.
inventory.
Thank
and
you.
as you're doing this, you hear a neighing sound. And Gerbo kind of... I assume Gerbo's like, whoa, slow down, whoa! Something like that.
I really wish there was a roll for amusement.
I know.
Chella,
yeah,
I can decide that though. Chella's
Steven! Oh my god! Steven, you're going crazy!
Chella's very proud of Steven. She's very amused. She's very, very amused. She's gonna walk up to Oliver Twist and in her completely shredded barbecue stained purple.
Oh, it's still...
Like,
He hasn't changed it?
She never got to go back for her clothes. She only
Oh,
has one set
man.
of clothes.
This
Oh,
is
no. Oh,
And
no.
she says, where might a respectable young woman find some clothes around here? And she like looks at the boathouse. It's like the only
Very respectable place.
yeah.
Well, probably not here.
What do
You
you
best... What?
what do you do?
I mean, I take care of the horses. Sometimes on busy nights in the bar, I help man the bar.
I size him up. Is he anywhere close to my size?
No, he's like a young teenager. So,
Okay.
I don't know. How tall is Cella? 5'10"?
She's 5'10" and skinny.
Well, I mean, he is skinny.
What's he got on?
What you wearing, boy? Oh God! If we come out and he's in that dress, oh man.
I've lost complete control of this.
I mean,
okay.
all that'll take is another nat 20 on persuasion.
That's all it's gonna take. That's all. I mean, that's all you gotta do. I mean, it's easy to do, right?
Oh my god.
Okay, so
Oh my god.
all right, let me think of this. Let me think of this kid real quick.
Yeah. Like
So-
I didn't have this guy's stats rolled up, but now that you mention it, I can have that for you.
What's his blood type?
Zodiac sign.
Has he lost any internal organs yet?
Yeah.
Yet? Oh wow. Okay.
God.
He could have donated one to his
A
brother.
kidney donation definitely exists on Novera.
Yep. Totally.
Is he an
Okay.
organ donor? Check his license.
This is amazing.
So he is wearing clothes like that are filthy, like they're covered in mud. You can tell he's been working in them, kind of sweat stained,
Oh, Chella's so into that.
probably.
Don't tell me what Chella's into.
And he is kind of burly for his age, so yeah, they're probably going to be a little big on you.
Okay. He has a really meek voice for a burly. Not gonna be honest, burly was not the vibe that I got.
Burly for an elf, though. That's
That's true. He's
different.
still fairly skinny, even but for elf standards, he has a little more muscle on him than normal, which means he has more than just a skeleton. So
Right. Okay, gotcha. So, she looks at his dirty clothes, and she looks down at her clothes, which are also really dirty. And
can I? He's like, can I help you, miss?
they wouldn't really be much of an improvement, so never mind. And she walks back inside.
And he's gonna turn his attention immediately back to Gerbo, who's fucking broncoing his way around in the little Sebastian.
Jenna, where are you going?
All right.
Where are you going?
She walks into the bar and says, "Did you guys hear anything?"
What do you mean? Did we hear anything?
She claps Braundir on the back and says, "I bet if you step outside, we might just put a smile back on that face."
Did Garbo kill the stable boy?
I cheers to.
Wait. No, did you do anything to Oliver?
Oh, shut up! And I cheers to Ephelien, and I finished my drink, and I'm gonna go walk outside.
And Cella asks the barkeep, "Do you have any clothes that aren't completely, absolutely covered in filth?"
And he'll look down at your dress. It's like, oh, maybe. Let me look in the back.
Right. Thanks.
Nice. Braundir walks outside. What does he see?
You see Gerbo riding bareback on one of your little Sebastians, and it's just going in circles around the dockyard.
Like he's uncontrollably riding this thing? Is that what
Yes,
it is?
uncontrollably. Yes.
But he's
what
really
is
good at
Gerbo's-
staying on.
Yeah.
Huh?
What does Gerbo's face look like?
It's just one of just he's afraid and kind of just shouting into the air, "Someone stop this thing!" Ah!
Braundir, help me!
I did a
Of
sharp
course.
whistle, like one of those
Yeah.
like things.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say the Sebastian stops in its place, and Gerbo flies off the front of it, like
Yep.
through the
That's
windshield.
exactly what I had in mind. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
well, guys.
But with his acrobatics, he manages to land on his feet.
Freaking rogues.
Yeah.
I pay no attention to that and just walk the Sebastian back to the. I'm sure Gerbo's very proud of that landing. Brian
Yeah.
doesn't pay attention to it at all.
They're there, Steven. They're there.
Yeah, it is, Steve.
Yep. They're there.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
camera angle is like me landing in the foreground. Yeah, and
Yep, there
Braundir
it
like
is.
walking behind me, like not looking or caring.
Yep. That's right.
So what I did up here on the chat, I used the fanatics.com to see if I could find a cool spelling for these names, which I
Yeah.
guess that these Christian names in today's world would be very foreign sounding to this realm. So these would be
That's
exotic
true.
names to them in a
Nice.
world of
True.
Ephelien and Braundirs and Gerbos. Something named
Mhm.
Jet would be very exotic.
That's
But
true.
I thought it was cool how this phonetic thing spelled everything really interesting.
I like
Zach-
the.
Is that
I'm
Gareth?
sure there's a smart word for those kinds of letters, but to me,
Well, they're called phonetic pronunciations. Like in Gareth, it has the theta, which is a th,
Ah.
Gareth.
Ah.
and in Jet has D and then a Z which is a hard J,
Ah,
a soft
Yeah,
J.
when you put them together, yeah, jet.
So
Jet.
jet. So
Okay.
like if you were like when people read phonetics, this is what it looks like. So
That's interesting.
like some E's are upside down, some I's are capitalized, some are lowercase. So that's what it is.
Okay. All
that's
right.
cool.
But anyway,
Okay.
I thought that was neat.
That
That's
is
cool.
neat.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm slowly reading them over, so someone may need to like pull me back into our game.
Anyway, so we can cut back inside. I just
All right, so Fulin comes back to the front, and he's got just a plain. Well, let me think about this. Says, it used to belong to, well, Oliver before his growth spurt. I think these might fit you. And it's like leggings, like overalls almost.
Okay.
And there's like a shirt, just a basic, very basic like wool shirt.
Okay. Yeah.
I imagine
You know,
Link.
what?
I imagine Link
Yeah,
with the
Link.
with the tunic and the leggings.
Yep.
Yeah. Or Mario.
Mhm. Yeah, right.
Very good. Thank you. I would most certainly take those over this purple whatever. How much?
Yeah, I don't blame you. Oh,
You
no,
don't
no,
have
no.
to be rude. How much do you want?
Hey, look. You guys took care of the problem in the lake. Take it, as far as I'm concerned.
Great. I am broke, so that works for me. And she happily snatches them up and looks around to see if there's anywhere private that she can change.
Yeah, you can. There's a back room I could take you to.
Oh, we were. I know how these places work now. Thanks, but no, that's fine.
Wait, no, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
This looks like a fancy little bar, though. It is a elven.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the last one was too.
I know you elves and your vase.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, just find a place to change.
Yeah, Tella like hoofs it into the forest.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's funny.
So I go and step into the doorway and say, "Well, that was certainly an experience. Are we leaving this place or what?"
Guess you're
Ephelien, or
yeah.
I imagine is Ephelien done with her drink now? I imagine so.
No, she's probably nursing it.
Okay. All right.
Well, maybe when we get into the human area where we're headed, they'll have human clothes. I assume.
And I look around and say, "Ephelien, who are you talking to?"
I
Anyone.
assume Cella coming out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cella
Cella
would
coming
probably
out.
be coming out.
No, Cella went into the woods.
Did
Yeah,
she?
she went in the woods to change.
Oh well, okay.
She's
Well-
in the stage that all toddlers go through when they're learning about the world, which is called generalization.
Ah yes. Perfect. Very good.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Every elvish establishment is a brothel.
Mm-hmm.
Every single
Yeah.
one, obviously.
That's
Exactly.
amazing. That's amazing.
You haven't been anywhere in Palan, but you assume that's probably the same.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, totes.
Yep.
That's great.
God.
Totes my goods.
So,
All right. I'm.
do you guys want to like eat?
Braundir's rounding up the
Yeah,
everything and pulling them out.
yeah. Oliver doesn't need any convincing. He's like, yeah, or yeah, I know. You're Braundir, right?
Yes.
Right. Well, the fact you got that one to calm down so quickly be indication enough. Anyway, let me help you get you set up.
Thanks, but I think I've got it.
All right. Just wanted to offer to help.
You have done a great deal taking care of these beautiful, beautiful beasts. And he's gonna flip him a gold piece. So now I'm down 6 gold
Oh,
pieces.
well, thank you, sir. Wow.
That's like an entire day's pay, easily.
Yeah.
If not more.
Wow.
I just gotta change my gold. I gotta go down 6 now.
Thank you, Braundir. Thank you a lot. That means a lot to me. This is a lot of... Whew. All right. Well, I won't spend it all in one place.
You spend it how you wish, young man. Life is short. Your brother may kill you tomorrow.
Do you
and
really
his eyes go wide. He just looks at you.
And I turn around and he fixing the horses.
I like Dark Braundir.
Good.
It's just like, and he just goes on.
It's amazing.
Poor kid.
20 years later, we find out he kills his brother because he was afraid of
Paranoid.
killing him.
Your actions have consequences.
Drew will just slide it in casually.
Casually.
It'll be like, oh yeah, and by the way, that guy kills his brother.
Just so you know.
Okay, Cella saunters out of the forest. How does she look in her new duds?
I think she's a man. No, I don't. I was just.
No.
No.
Well, she's wearing very basic like leather legging. Well, are they leather leggings? No.
Pants, overalls.
Yeah, pants.
Because when you said leggings, it made me think of Link.
Right. I was thinking overalls,
No.
like a basic kind of wool shirt, almost like what you would imagine someone like a fisherman wearing out on
Gotcha.
on the sea, I guess.
Okay.
A Columbia PFG shirt.
Yes.
Why not?
So breathable.
Yeah.
Okay. She walks over to Braundir and regards the horses and says, "Hello, David."
Have you kept your sexual puns to a minimum?
I remember that you tried to bite me last time. We won't be doing that again now, will we?
Roll animal handling and find out.
Forgot about that.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
he failed. He bites himself.
hey,
So
David.
you're reaching
Dang.
out you're reaching out to pet
David.
to put your hand on its head and it immediately reaches out to bite your hand. So now you're gonna take a d6 of bludgeoning damage.
Bludgeoning. Okay, 1.
That's amazing. At least you failed on both of those. So.
Right. You win some, you lose some. All right. Well, glad we're off on the same foot. Braundir, it's...
Wait, did you not take any damage?
I took 1
She took
damage.
one.
Good.
Yeah,
She took 1 damage.
I deducted
you
it.
got lucky.
Yeah.
Nipped
Has it occurred to literally anyone else in the party that we don't actually know where we're going aside from south?
That's what I've
Well-
been worried about.
There is an island off the west coast. Not much has been said of it, but I have been interested.
Braundir,
Alright. Let me bring up the continent map.
I'm worried that we're going to end up wandering around aimlessly in the south, asking people about ancient temples.
So
Effie, are you with us? Are you out here with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I wanted to offer a suggestion because I share Ephelien's concerns. There's a chance that my aunt or someone in one of the druidic circles near us might have more information about exactly where the other temples are. we could. Well, the redwoods are on our way. We could drop in, I suppose.
Hmm.
You suggest we go back in the redwoods?
Well, yes, that's where my clan, where my circle lives. In fact, there are a couple of circles that still live there, and they've been receiving more frequent contact from other druidic circles outside as of late, according to my aunt. I suppose I could always just summon her and talk to her that way, but part of me is a bit hectic.
I don't guess I ever knew you were from the redwoods. Where were you when?
We exploded it.
Gerbo's here now. Oh, we were there.
Yeah, of insert town here. Like, what did that affect your circle at all?
Yeah, I mean,
Of course it did. We were
And
out.
you're going to welcome us back in there when we kind of were the ones, not directly but indirectly responsible for the destruction of your home? I don't.
We didn't destroy the entire thing, and the way I see it, things are only going to get worse if I don't have your help in closing the other portals. So.
and as a clarification, Cella's circle we're pretty busy having to fend off the undead anyway in their own little areas.
Yeah, that's why they wouldn't have been there for the big battles.
That's how we explain that little inconsistency or loop.
Can you say it
anyway?
Can you say it again?
Retcon.
Kella's clan was scared of the.
No,
they-
no, nope,
They were scared of
nope,
the big
nope.
Well, there's
they
you guys
were-
were in the town, right? Druid circles wouldn't be in the town. That'd be as far from the town as you can get.
Also, on top of that, you guys were in the heart of the most dangerous area of the redwoods anyway.
Yeah.
Northwich, that's what that place is called.
North.
Yes,
Northwich.
Northwich. That's right.
Yeah.
But we left a crater in the earth.
You did do
well,
that.
I mean, they're not really happy about it, but
I suppose, if that's, I'll take your lead on this. I'm just offering a hand.
well,
As long as
maybe let me just talk with Valkyra first and see if it'll be worth our while to go. Because she pulls out the two mushrooms that she has left to get in touch with Valkyra.
All right, I forgot about that.
I am running out of chances to do that.
Maybe she can at least tell us where to start looking, or who to ask.
I hope so. Last time, south was all she could say, but maybe in the days since, she's learned something new. Oh
Okay.
God, here we go again. We'll, back up a little bit or something. Standing very close.
I just imagine Gerbo just sitting there staring up at you.
I'm just looking very intently,
He's like a foot away from you, and he's just staring right up. No personal space.
I made an investigation check on her, and I critted
God, why?
31.
You see
What
the
are you
inner
trying
workings of my soul.
What are you trying to investigate?
I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. Why is she acting so weird about this?
That would be insight, not investigation. Good sir.
Ah, well, fudge.
But you know every
Go
detail about those clothes that she just forgot.
Yes, you do. You know every
Yeah,
single.
you know where the
detail.
secret pockets are.
That's right.
My 20 doesn't look as good next to the 31, but
Well, you
Well,
nearly critted on that one too, though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That.
Good.
What? That's that's
19.
dumb. Anyway,
What do
so
You're trying to figure out why
Dirty
I'm being so weird?
yeah.
Maybe he perceives that she's afraid.
Mm,
right. I mean, you're hesitant, and you don't really want to. You don't really want to like talking to your aunt anyway.
Nope.
So
Nope.
that's fairly straightforward.
Well, you seem to be the only one that want us to go back into the redwoods.
I just think that it could be helpful. And I am a bit homesick, and well, maybe it won't. I don't know. Let's just talk to Valkyra and see if it's worth our while.
Do you have any siblings?
What? What? Why would you ask that?
You mean when I killed it for you?
Why would you ask that? It's none of your business.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I asked. I was just curious.
Maybe there is a problem that needed to be solved. Sorry.
I sensed you were scared, and you seemed to be worried, and I was wondering if it was because you had any
Cella
siblings.
flashes her teeth at Gerbo.
Mhm.
Dang it. And she snaps.
Dang.
She snaps. Leave off about siblings. It's none of your business. And then she turns to the ground and tries to shield what she's doing with the mushroom
Okay.
from everybody.
All right.
I look at Braundir and I say, well, I think we both can take that as a yes. But we shouldn't ask about it.
She ignites the mushroom and in the secret druidic language whispers the summoning words that Valkyra shared with her.
Okay. The smoke begins to congeal and form an image, and it becomes a vague image of your aunt Valkyra. And as a reminder, there you go.
Yes.
Lovely.
Yep.
Those
Runs in the
legs.
family.
Runs in the family.
She's an ankle bracelet.
Those might be tattoos. I'm not sure. Anyway. All right, let me see if I can get her voice.
So cool.
Sinister AF.
Yeah, it's badass.
You have summoned me, dear child.
Greetings, Aunt. And Chella's looking at the ground. I have news, and I have the other members of my party here as well.
Is that so?
Yes, the ones I've told you about. Ephelien the Outlander, Braundir, the folk hero, Gerbo, the Great of House Aldrin. And she kind of gestures to each of them.
The smoky figure. You guys don't see a clear image of her. It's more like just a shadow. And she kind of briefly nods her head in acknowledgement. Not a full bow or curtsy or anything like that. What news have you?
The portal that was in the water temple has been sealed. It had been overtaken. Well, it had been infiltrated by the outsider, Valkyra, and the druids there had been corrupted, bent to his will. They were using strange, dark ritual magic to try and create a terrible storm that would have overthrown House Aldrin, drowned everyone in the process. The druids had been completely radicalized. Fortunately, we were able to stop a ceremony to summon an even worse storm. We did have to kill the temple leader, but we saved many of the druids who had not yet been turned into the abominations he was making.
It is a shame that so many were turned and bent to this foul, alien magic.
It was appealing to them, seducing them with beautiful things that they could see through the portal into the elemental plane of water. I suspect that he may try to do something similar in other temples.
I'm going to hold up my painting of the multicolored Leviathan, assuming that she can see it in her smoke form.
She doesn't acknowledge it. Even if she did see it.
Okay.
That's a good painting.
It's not
I
bad.
mean, it is like
It's pretty good. It's about a 13.
Well, that's
pretty
what
good painting.
that's what he tried to seduce me with. So that was my
Yeah.
example.
Ephelien, do you need to make a roll for that? What kind of roll would that be?
Well, I mean, she already rolled a performance roll though.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was good.
It was a
Oh,
good
That's
roll,
decent.
actually.
Yeah,
One
I
of
thought
the
it was
few
like
she's
a
done.
13 or something.
It was decent.
Nice. Bravo,
Right.
then.
But like I said, Valkyra's not going to acknowledge it, really. At the very least, you are able to deal with the problem in the lake. And the water temple has been restored.
Indeed, it has. And now we turn our attention elsewhere. As you instructed, we will proceed next to the Wind Temple, but we're at a loss as to where to begin. Do you have any information that could help us find it? Or is there anyone there with you who might know? I know you were getting visitors, druids fleeing from other circles.
There has been much that I have not gotten much news from the south. I have received more from the Earth Temple as of late. But if you are to seek it, it will be in the southern cities of Palan. I believe the name is Arbadeos, the city of Arbadeos.
I see. That is helpful, Aunt. Thank you. What news from the Earth Temple?
If what I have heard is correct, all the cultists, all the druids within the temple have been slain. There
Shall
is
I,
some
like,
other...
make a warning sign of some kind?
Right. Indeed. I believe that if it is the work of the outsider, this is once again another tactic. Perhaps he failed, or it has failed, to convince or charm them, and so simply eliminated them.
That's terrible news.
Of what I know, there may be something far more foul and sinister that is within the temple now.
There's talk of war in the Badlands. I know the elves that we were with were sending ships to help the dwarves fight a war against the orcs who've reawakened. Suspect everything is connected.
Yes, I have heard much news of that. I have also been informed of not just the outsider, but of a hag, a witch, perhaps, that is not of this world.
I believe we've seen this witch.
Yes. That is what my guests have told me.
And what is she trying to do?
If what I have heard of her is true, she belongs to a coven that spans multiple worlds. And they are capable.
So are we.
They are capable of opening up worlds to malevolent forces, such as Malcor.
Where was she last seen?
I have heard, again from my guests, that she is in or around what they call the Heart of Shadows in the Badlands.
Our group had decided that we would avoid the Badlands at this time. We don't feel that we're strong enough in number or in ourselves to combat anything that we might find there, based on what we've heard. Do you agree? Or do we make a mistake by not going straight to deal with?
No, do not go. Rather, I think it is something left to my guests and potentially myself.
Aunt, do you mean to leave the Redwoods?
I am contemplating it, yes. They believe my assistance could prove invaluable in trapping this hag, and perhaps doing away with her.
And what news of home? Has this outsider tried to approach anyone in our circles?
They have not. The Redwoods grows less violent by the day. We have managed to eradicate most of the undead. We believe that at this rate the forest can finally heal.
That is very good. It is very good to hear. Aunt, please be on guard if you are approached by this outsider. As I said, he came as a friend with beautiful things to offer, and especially if you're away, I fear what could happen.
That is true. I believe in protecting my circle above all else. But if what I've heard of this hag is true, she is the one who made the Badlands as it is. She is the one who corrupted so much of our world already. This outsider is helping her. For now, seek out the temples. Cleanse them. Save any druids you can.
We will. We will. Thank you. Thank you, Valkyra.
Of course. And to you, fellow adventurers.
I wave.
Cella just bows.
As you bow, the smoke begins to dissipate and just is gone.
That was cool.
Cool.
That was cool.
Cella
Braundir.
kind of shudders.
Yeah. Braundir, the name Abdeos. You remember it.
Okay.
It's in the south of Palan. It's one of the bigger cities in the south. And if you remember right, that was the place you ended up fighting. That's where you got your moniker,
Nice.
Nice.
Blight Chaser. It was long ago, but perhaps the people there have a stronger connection to that than in other places of Palan.
It's good. We're gonna need all the help we can get from fugitives, even if they don't know it. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Lots of information there.
yeah.
Cella turns back to everyone.
Very interesting.
Well, I suppose that spares us a trip back to the Redwoods, and, well, we should make for Abdeos.
I know the way. I've been there before. Wished to never return, but I suppose this precedes any of my own wishes, so yeah, stay along the coast. It'll be faster than having to cut through Marigold again, unless we do want to see our old friends. But I guess you two may not be familiar with the Justakar there, so yeah, cut across the plains. I would say it's a good 3.5, 4 day trip. 5 if we take it slow.
We should not take
Yeah.
it slow.
What's out on the plains?
Yeah. What is out on the plains, Drew? Like, what would one who lived in Palan know about the plains and the threats that inhibit it?
Farmers.
Very
Men,
correct.
men carrying scythes that are
So
racist.
damn good.
There are, so in the countryside, yeah, there are obviously a lot of rural little communities, homesteads, and farmland. That's kind of the breadbasket of Palan, is in the south. As for threats, it's very it's very flat land, and there's also swampier land or wetter
Okay.
land.
Yeah.
So if you end up in, basically, you probably don't want to go near any of the swamps if you can avoid it. That's where the particularly nasty stuff lives. There have also been, in the past at least, of course, back then, Braundir, the kingdom of Palan as a whole was much less stable than it is now. There were brigands that you had to worry about. Even some Malkites, active Malkite cells within certain communities, which, well, led to Malkite hunts, which would also get innocent people killed sometimes.
Nice.
There are also other but yeah, there's not a lot of monsters to really be afraid of as you go south. At least not as many.
More. So this is what I'll say, and you can fix me if I'm wrong. The only real threat that we have, other than avoiding the swamplands, are neo-Malkites, those who are following a lost tradition and defending a dead honor, in which their rationale has disrupted their common sense, and they will kill anything, defeat anything, these humans that comes and thinks differently, referencing neo-Nazis, really, but they can appear normal, so be careful about what you say, what your mission is, where you're from, because they may not like ones who look different or sound different. For the most part, you're fine.
Are you just talking about Southerners at this point? Like,
They'll feed you really good.
I'm wrapping it up, you know. But also trying to think about if I was a farmer in Palan. It used to be around Malkites all the time. I probably would have got used to it over a few 100 or 1,000 years. I may not necessarily be opposed to it, but also
I would say
great.
I mean, it's not like Malkites are just a regular thing. Like, these are the equivalent of like Satanists to Pelorans.
Okay.
So it would be unacceptable. Not to say that there aren't still secret cells that are active.
Yeah. So, like, would we assume that if we went to Palan, that most people would be worshiping Pelora?
That would be a good assumption,
Right.
So,
especially since it's a state-endorsed religion.
It's like you're going into medieval. I mean, it's basically medieval Europe.
You're
Yeah.
talking
So-
about medieval Europe.
So when you
essentially.
go in
So
there,
the Malchites
they'll,
are just the educated people.
Okay.
they'll
Okay.
they'll kill you if you don't follow their religion.
Just
or at the
kidding.
very least,
Just
pay
like-
it some sort of respect.
Just like medieval Europe.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
And 99% of them are poor farmers that pay too many taxes to the nobles. That's
Well,
also
yes,
medieval
that's
Europe.
true too.
Yeah.
But
Nothing wrong
yes,
with that.
but yeah,
Okay.
Braundir was down there when there were when there actually were a lot of Malchites that were active in the countryside and beyond. So Braundir was one of the folks who was meant to root them out, or hired by the church to do that, or the state. Almost the same thing. So,
And so then I would be pretty well known in Palan then, right? That's where I got the folk hero.
relatively, yeah, you would be. It depends on how active you have been in the last few decades. Because keep in mind, humans don't live as long.
That's true.
That's true.
It would be more of a
I think some would remember.
tell or
Some would
something.
know. I think again, Abdeos would know. Probably still, like the legend of you would still be
Yeah.
very much in their minds. I would say.
Just trying to think
That's
of how to
cool.
go across that bit.
Yeah.
I haven't really used any folk hero traits since
I know. I haven't really given you an opportunity, so
Kind of in
Same.
Marigold a little bit, but not really. So.
sort of. Right. So. All right.
That would be an advantage if there were people who asked questions. Then I could at least use folk hero to protect my strange-looking friends.
Yeah. Right.
True.
Now. We say this, and then jump cut to like 3 sessions later, and Gerbo's about to be burned at the stake.
Plot twist: Braundir's lighting it.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
Oh,
is
nice.
a potential future.
Right.
one of many.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One of the many visions of Muad'Dib.
Yes.
Nice. I finished Dune 2 days ago, and
Woo! What'd you think?
I want more. It was so good.
Oh, I know. I just ordered the next book. So
I read a long article about whether it's worth reading all of the sequels, and I haven't decided if I'm going to do it yet.
Well, there's purists in all
Yeah.
of that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that I just really enjoy it. I probably want to read the book again, but I just want to continue on because
It's
from
such
what
a
I
cool
read,
world.
it just goes deeper into the characters. I think
Yeah.
it'd be cool.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens with Paul's sister. I can't remember her name right now. But
Talia. Saint
Yeah.
Talia of the Night.
yes, yeah. So the weird,
Yeah.
the weird or the weirding,
Their weirding ways.
the weirding ways. Yeah. So
Weird anyway.
anyway, yeah. Good job on
Anyway,
Okay.
sorry guys.
That's okay.
Just a little fantasy inception.
All right.
Well,
So
Braundir, you'll have to tell us the story of how you got your name while we're en route.
We'll find plenty of bards along the way.
Okay. Okay.
whoa,
Wow.
Mr. Big Shot. Okay.
Wow.
So
It's a pretty good topic for bards, though.
it is.
Yeah.
It is a good story for that. That's true. So I'm gonna try and draw a path.
Okay.
Or maybe.
I mean, they can only write so many songs about the Moses thing across the sea, so
yeah.
eventually they got to write about something
admittedly-
else.
Admittedly, it's a pretty cool story, but yeah, you're right. The DM says at his own made story. So Braundir, you can on the map you could draw out a potential path if you like.
It'll be a
Yeah.
long ways, but at least it'll be flat.
I will say that Abdeos will be. Yeah.
Okay.
down the south.
Yeah, it's a really far journey across the entire continent, basically, but it is all flat and relatively safe, so that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. I'll withdraw this in.
I love it.
So how
Well, you
many
could-
miles is this to scale? Does that make how large is this
Okay.
continent?
Okay. So I actually did used to figure like my only marker was that the red woods would take you 2 days to get through completely.
Gotcha.
So using that as a rough yardstick, it would probably take like a week.
Yeah,
Or so.
that seems fair.
To walk
So-
there.
What about what about like these day markers? Was that just because it was really forgiving?
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, much like George R. R. Martin, geography is not my strong suit.
Gotcha.
No,
Okay.
we're not calling you out or anything. You're good.
I mean, the Curse of Strahd module is pretty bad about that. Like, you
Right.
could go across the entire zone in like 3 days
Right.
if you
We
go by
won't- we won't
the
do
book.
it.
Like, I'm just trying to be somewhat consistent at least, but
Yeah.
yeah, so
Okay. Well, let me do this then. Let me delete that. Okay. Let me break this up into. Oh, dang it! Freehand and get my.
And we also didn't hardly run into any encounters along that 3-day journey.
well, you had random encounters, and you ran into a drunk dwarf.
Yeah.
You almost had a fight with a bunch of trolls, but you decided to avoid it. And if not for the fact that Ephelien decided to push on further that night, you would have been attacked by the said trolls that night.
Right.
I
then
guess
the
if you compare this continent to Britain, then a week is probably about right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
It's just not going to be the size of like North America or Africa.
No.
Oh no, I didn't want to do that one.
Wait, what?
Chilla's like, that one, that's my home.
I didn't mean to.
This line, all this here is mine. My
Everything the light touches. I don't know how to get rid of it. I'm sorry.
home. Okay, hold on. Oh wow.
Oh, good. Yeah, that gets that undoes it. Thank you. Thank you, Gareth.
Allow me to now. Stop it.
Hey, Drew, is this trees or swamp, or do you have swamp anywhere?
Not on the map, but let's call that swampland. Yes.
Okay.
I can't select this thing. There we go.
I guess we can get rid of the giant green X that says wind. Mystery solved.
Well, kind of. Yeah.
Swamp.
So this is what we have.
Yeah, it's about 7 days.
Yeah.
So I have
And-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, or 7 if you want to go through Marigold, Depending on-
Could.
depending on what we learn along the way.
Yeah.
Could
And
go to Marigold.
Braundir would suggest going around the swamp because it would likely extend to this coastline.
Oh. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I have the wrong thing selected.
what is this?
I'm really
Jen, this
sorry.
is my turn to draw the map.
I go to Marigold.
Passive aggressive Xing
Yeah.
out of things.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh, I want to go to Marigold? Too bad. It's not there.
Man, Marigold would be an interesting revisit. I'm not gonna lie.
It would.
But
Chella's
anyway.
gonna push back though, because she's ready to. She's on a
That's
mission.
fair.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, I'm just one person, but that's definitely what she's gonna feel.
We need a wizard to teleport us.
Oh, that would just
Right.
break everything, Brett.
Too bad. Too bad we left them behind in House Aldrin.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, true.
I'm actually
Never
gonna-
could figure out what was up with Eldrin and his dark magic.
True.
Stay tuned.
Plot twist: Eldrin destroys everything.
Mhm.
Oh god.
He comes and teleports to us because he like pulled a pluck of Gerbo's hair or something.
Right.
I mean, Eldrin would do that.
He made a sneak roll that I didn't detect or something stupid.
He's an ass, but he's competent though.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I'll tell you
Cool.
later. All right.
That's my suggested path. Or we could take a boat.
I guess that's
Ooh.
possible too.
Oh,
I
would-
like that idea.
Would the boat be faster?
The boat times.
Should be a lot
Well,
faster.
boat would likely be faster. Yeah.
We could visit this island out here.
Nope. Won't be faster to do that.
All right. What is this? Oh jeez.
Here be dragons.
Is that the Loch Ness? Is that
That's the knock less monster.
Knock
Knock
Less?
Less.
Okay. It's Lessie. It's old
That's
Lessie.
That's old Lessie. Lessie of the sea.
Leslie.
That's funny.
Oh
I
my
mean, I
god.
would probably take maybe two days,
Yeah.
maybe 3, depending upon.
On what
If
we
there's
come
a-
across.
The ship should be
There's
at least
still
2
one.
or 3 times faster than horses.
Do we have to do some kind of crazy Panama Canal stuff where we follow the winds, and then we end up right here?
Yeah, just
Mhm.
All right, so yeah, I can just imagine just some
It actually
old
takes 2
crusty
times.
tailor.
It takes
Drew,
2 times as
what is-
long.
Drew, what is this town called? What is this one called?
Well, let me find out.
Let me generate a name.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So basically, you guys are saying we're going on a ship pirate adventure, right?
If it's available.
I think that'd be cool if it's available.
It looks like we're gonna go to town either way, so we
Yeah.
can stop and ask. We can inquire about
Yeah,
any
we
ships
can
departing.
go to town.
We can go to town.
Call it Retria.
Retro.
Retria.
Like Eritrea. The Retria.
Retro, yeah.
Just part of that. Okay.
Urethra.
Nope.
Retria.
Retria. I'm gonna write it.
Okay.
Oh gosh, I'm not to be trusted.
Let me just that.
Oh, sorry.
Keep it.
Get rid of it!
I'm
Make
trying
it
to,
go away!
trying to write the number of my stops.
So funny.
This is really
There you go.
hard. Oh
Did you zoom in as far as you could?
no.
Oh, you should totally do that. It'll be way easier.
No, it looks good. Stop.
It does
Oh,
look
but
good
There's there's
for an amateur. No, I'm just kidding. No, it looks good.
Okay.
About as good as you
Drew,
get.
what'd you say?
There's an I, not an E. See in the chat?
Oh, I didn't see. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Don't look at it. Don't look at it.
This is Ephelien's map that she copied from Durin, and they're all just making notes on it. So
Yes, I just am totally imagining this.
definitely not
Yes.
going to be spelled right.
No.
Well, Cella can't read or write.
Well, then of course she's not going to spell it right. I mean,
This is
Yeah.
just.
Whatever
not-
happened to that storyline?
It's
I
still
mean-
there. Cella's an,
I mean,
an
Birch-
ocean of unfathomable depth. Just try to wade in.
Still there.
Yeah.
It is still there. I mean, if you're talking about Bertrand trying to teach her how to read and write, yeah, still a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just got to find a way to transport the Sebastians.
That's the real question.
Here's the trick. I give the ring to one of the Sebastians and ride it across the water.
What?
No. What?
Insane.
Oh,
Their little ear, and
That would be absolutely wild.
you braid it into their mane.
Yeah.
Hmm.
be like a nose ring, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of.
That's kind of wild.
Your water walking horse, but which one of the original party members gets to have it?
He's gonna give it to Zach, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
We give it to Zach.
yeah.
Giving it to Zach. Oh, okay. All right. Sure.
Okay, so
He's my favorite.
All right.
all right, so it seems we are setting out for Retria.
Let go.
May I
What
go?
time of day is it? Are we going now? Or are we killing time here?
Let me remember. I want
Y'all
to
are-
say that by the time you guys get there, it's like you got time. You can make it. I want to say it was like you guys were outside the city, and it was morning. You spent the night in your little encampment thing.
Yeah, and then we journeyed to the.
It would take a while to get down to that dock, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Based
half
off
a
of this
journey.
math, yeah. Yeah.
It was like a whole day.
Right. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it'd be a whole day. Since now that we've made it more of a thing, yeah.
All right, so we're staying there,
Mhm.
not there.
Assuming they have rooms, yeah.
I'd say they might have a few.
Stay in the stable.
Could stay in the stable.
Okay.
Ephelien, do you still have some of that boar meat?
Of course.
Obviously.
I would kill for some protein right now.
Was that a pun? Was that a hunting joke?
I got some dried jerky. I got some salted hams. I got some just raw bloody chunks.
Go on.
Raw
Tell us
bloody
about all
chunk.
the different types of meat that you have. Go ahead. Go on.
Got dish shrimp, good double shrimp.
I got I got some pickled boar feet that are in the process.
Amazing.
Just every.
My
Every
grandma
meat.
my grandma loved pickled pig's feet, so Ephelien probably would like it too.
Nice.
Sure. Why not?
Well, if we're going to be here all night, does anybody like play an instrument or do something entertaining like that?
Anyone have anything to pass the time?
Gerbo, do you play an instrument?
I don't have any instruments.
I don't think so. Let me check my. I can draw a map.
You're a cartographer. Well, this is where the map came from. Obviously, this is Braundir's handiwork, right?
I'm more of a visual artist, but
What's it
Well,
going
fine.
I don't let anyone look at my work. So sorry.
No one must see.
Nope.
Until it's complete. The insecurity is overwhelming. All right, well, you win some, you lose some.
So yeah, Oliver and Fulham.
Vulin.
Fulham. Was
Vulin? Vulin with a V.
Yeah, yeah.
Harik. We haven't seen him in a while. I put on the hat of disguise,
What you
and
did.
I dress up as, let's see, Eldrin. I dress up. I turn into Eldrin,
Okay.
and I'm looking at everyone, and I'm like, "Oh, look at me! I'm so tall. I've got elf ears."
You're mocking like the high general in front of the barkeep and like his subjects.
Pretty much.
The top war
that's-
mage.
That's what bards are for. They gotta satire the people in power.
That's
That's
true.
right.
Nobody else comes into the tavern while we're hanging out that night.
I would say that actually, as time goes on, Vulin, like, when you guys mentioned that the problems in the lake have been dealt with, some of the like regulars kind of ran out and started gathering people.
Nice.
So by the time like, the sun has gone down and it's night, there's more of a crowd at the bar. It's more of a happening place. People at this point are kind of congregating around you guys, asking tons of questions.
Dust off the disco ball.
Yeah.
Like some of the older, more crusty sailors. Is it true then? Are you the ones that took care of the temple? Took care of that old monster in the lake, the giant?
Yes, that was Master Braundir.
Yes.
The giant, Braundir the giant climber.
No new respect, giant climber. It's not very catchy.
I have many names, none which are family given, so just call me Braundir.
Braundir it is.
Braundir,
All right then.
Braundir, tell them how you got your name, Blight Chaser. Tell us how you got your name.
Oh.
Bard!
Bring. That's
Yep.
my lute impression.
There you go.
Patrick Rothfuss would be.
Do you
totally-
remember? Because I can fill it in if not.
Yeah, so like, you
Yeah,
will
tell
tell
it
it
the
more
way you want to
eloquently
tell
than I will, because we talked about that a long time ago, and so what I remember is
Tell it in character.
Malchites had created, maybe they created something, and no, okay, you better go, because
Drew,
you'll-
tell it as a bard. Tell it as a bard. Sing it to us.
there you go.
So
Drew's like, I've been waiting my whole life.
you hear?
Okay. So here's what I'll say.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is one of the things that Braundir, though he is upset that he still doesn't have his dwarven name, he is secretly prideful of earning that title and name on the human side. And I would assume that this is one of those songs that circulates, and
Oh no!
it's like he doesn't want people to know how proud he is. But at this point, he's had a full keg of beer, and so I'm gonna say
Yeah,
smirks
he's
and calls
ready.
for a bard.
Yeah.
Okay. So, barkeep, do you have a bard in this establishment?
That's amazing.
And you hear the sound of a lute
Bard,
coming
Tell
in
us-
from.
tell us the story of the Blight Chaser.
The guy from way back is like, you chased a bunch of ghosts. It's awesome.
You're still here? Okay. Get that man a drink.
That's amazing.
No, that guy in the back's like, "Oh yeah, Reginald!" Hey! He's talking to the bard.
I mean, it's an elven tavern. It just seems weird if there wouldn't be someone playing music.
Oh yeah. Now, in fact, hold on.
That's great.
Everyone get on Discord.
There we go.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
we need the scene set.
Right.
For sure.
The problem is, I'm not really gonna have a song laid out on the spot. I'm not that talented.
It's okay. You can just
Hear
use it.
ye, hear ye, listen well. I have another bardy tale to tell.
Party tail.
It's
I speak of Braundir, brave and true, and all the ghosts that he once slew.
There we go.
Honestly,
It's a-
that's not
it's
bad
a-
at
it's
all.
it's actually a well-known Broadway musical.
Broadway musical. Dang.
Written in the form of hip hop to tell the forefathers the story of the time before
I'm just-
Milan was whole.
I'm just a bastard dwarf and son of a. Sorry, that's Hamilton's joke for
Man,
everybody.
man.
I'm not that
Alright.
good.
There we go.
Okay.
Ooh.
So I need to click Hooter on Discord.
General, yeah. Okay. So
There's no
4 are
feedback.
in.
Oh, The Witcher, yes.
Well, it could be that. I think that's probably good.
I think you used that last time here, right? Or was
I
it in?
did.
Or
I
was it in the
did. That
Pink
was the
Pearl?
music Lorson got shot to.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. I summon you from the depths. Play this for me. Everyone hear that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Okay.
Appropriate. So, Drew,
Yeah.
Bard, do the spoken word version of Braundir's tale.
I have a great tale to tell of a great dwarf. Long ago, in one of the
Braundir's
southern
back.
towns.
He's very proud. He's like this.
Long ago, in the southern town, sleepy town of Abdeos, there was a great terror. A horrid, delightful creature. 3 stories tall, a beast made of dead flesh of all kinds, was ravaging the land. At the time, it was nothing but chaos and death and disease. And in comes our hero, a brave dwarf, to stand against the forces of blight and darkness. A humble dwarf, he accepted no payment and charged forward to fight the beast. Their fight lasted for days. The creature was hacked away bit by bit. It lost toes, it lost hands, it lost arms, and yet it persisted and ran. And yet our brave hero chased it. And he chased it for 3 days and 3 nights. Until finally he cornered the beast. And finally, at the evening time, he slew this giant blighted monster and slew the horrid creature, the horrid dark wizards that created it. The horrid sons of Malcor. And he spit on the ground when he says it. It was only then, after returning back to the village of Abdeos, with the head of the horrid Malkite that created it, as proof of his slaying, did Braundir, the great Braundir, the Blight Chaser, collapse and rest.
Wow. And then Gerbo lifts up his glass and says, "To Braundir!"
And even Cella raises her glass and yells, To Braundir.
There you go. Does Ephelien do anything?
Ephelien has been very distant and even more pale than usual and distracted, and she went to bed a long time ago.
Aww.
Sorry to break the mood, but that's what she's doing.
Sorry to break the mood.
Epic story. I like Bard story time.
That was good.
I wish I had had it more prepped. I could have added a lot more.
Oh, no,
I
you
should
did
have
great.
embellished it more.
We can hear it. We can hear it in every tavern between here and Abdeus.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
right. And so, Braundir buys around on the house.
Wow. Wait. Braundir buys around on the house?
For the
house.
For
Oh.
the house.
I was
For
like,
the house.
Braundir? Very generous of you to
I'm
buy
gonna buy
around.
around.
for
For everyone that you're gonna pay for. No.
every-
Yeah.
That was excellent.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yes. So that is the rough gist of it. I mean, he fought a zombie golem monstrosity and brought it down.
So there's your story, Cella. Said in much better words than I could ever tell.
That is a good story, and it was very brave. Things like that should not be. Abominations against death should not live.
It would only
Has
be
anyone
nice.
seen Ephelien?
I'm surprised Gerbo didn't ask. Was it really 3 stories tall?
I think at this part I'm picking my battles. And
That's fair. That's fair. I think in under normal circumstances, I think he would. But anyway.
You know,
Okay.
combating the what the bards, how he may have embellished on things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Has anyone seen Ephelien?
No.
Well,
Fella's gonna go look for Ephelien.
Okay. I'm gonna say that there are a few spare rooms or places where someone could potentially sleep. I assume Ephelien's kind of holed up in one of those, or maybe she's sleeping outside.
She went to one of the rooms and tried to sleep
Okay.
like hours earlier.
Well, it was pretty lively in there, so you know.
Yeah.
Cella goes and knocks on the first door that she comes to, and says, "Is Ephelien there? I won't open the door. I promise. I understand how things work."
Well, I doubt there's
just
very
hear
many
a-
rooms that are occupied with sleeping people at this hour, so.
Right. Yeah. You don't hear anything because the room is unoccupied.
She goes down the hall and does that in every single room.
It's at the last.
you're gonna see some
It's at the
terrifying
very.
things.
It's at the very last room, like the furthest away you can get from the main hallway. That's where Ephelien is. At the very end of the hall.
She knocks and says,
And
"Ephelien, I really hope you're in here. There are a lot of people sleeping in this tavern. I had no idea."
I'm in here.
Cella's, "Can I open the door? Are you alone?
Yes.
Okay,
Is this the second floor?
I'm coming in now. Fair warning."
Is this the
Okay.
second floor?
Yeah, it's the second floor.
Oh, really?
Right? Aren't the
No.
rooms on the second floor?
I guess they would be, yeah. Sure.
Maybe.
Oh, that makes it even worse for Cella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm coming in now. No funny business. I just want to talk. That's all. And she goes in. What does Ephelien look like?
Trying to sleep and looks very distant, I guess.
paler than
Even more
usual.
pale than normal.
You don't look like your springy green mountain happy self. You missed a good story
Yeah.
with Braundir. Why did you go?
Just tired. Do you want some boar?
Sure.
I've got pickled boar's feet. I've got
Party's
a
up here, man.
Yeah, no shit.
I have a salted ham that weighs 20 pounds. You can
Very
carve
good,
off a
very
hunk
good.
of that.
Have you been eating too much meat? Is that why you feel tired and blue?
Probably.
Okay. Well, we missed you downstairs. Are you sure everything's okay?
Well, there's something that's worrying me. A few years ago, when I first became a ranger knight, I was sent on a mission with my brother. He was more experienced than me. It was at my home. There was a fae there that was causing trouble, and we went to deal with it, preferably through diplomacy, but possibly with violence, because it is a fae after all in the Queen's realm. But when we got there, we were caught in a trap. It wasn't just any fae; it was a powerful hag, and she dismembered my brother in front of me. And before she could get to me, she ritualistically dismembered him as part of some kind of spell. And before she could get to me, something awakened in me, and I stepped into the ethereal realm, I guess, and I managed to escape. And I don't know how I can do that, but that's the first time I could do it. I mean, some other Eladrin can do it, but I don't know how I did it. It just kind of happened. The Everqueen spoke to me personally after that, but she seemed to be more worried about that hag than she let on. And I've been worried about that ever since. And when I heard what your aunt had to say, that made me afraid.
Is that all?
That, and I probably ate too much boar meat.
Ephelien, that's really serious. I'm sorry about your brother. If it's
going in the background.
Well, we can hear it playing from underneath our feet, so
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I freaking love it. That's good.
Yeah, just muffle your speaker, and that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, basically. I could just pause it.
No, keep it going.
Yeah, no, it's kinda good.
Great.
Okay.
I'm sorry about your brother. For what it's worth, my mother was killed in a ritual by my aunt.
Oh boy!
well,
Talk about an awkward family dynamic.
that seems like it could be an uncomfortable situation.
It was always going to happen. Still, well, in our coven, in our circle, every, 100 years, there are a set of children born on the same day. They have a white forelock of hair, and they're born at the same time, two halves of a whole, of a balance, and one of them owes a life debt to nature. My aunt and my mother were those two children in their time. So when they come of age, they fight each other, and the stronger leads the circle, and the weaker pays the life debt back to nature. just happened that my mother was the weaker of the two. Even so, I can't seem to stop blaming Valkyra from taking something from me. I know what it's like to lose family.
Yeah, that sounds difficult. Especially because it's hard to blame her if she was just following the tradition of your circle.
This is a very interesting tradition, isn't it? Well,
Yes, it's pretty interesting.
so this hag. There's nothing we can do about it right now. Valkyra herself said that we aren't strong enough to face her yet. But we'll go one day, and when we do, we'll make sure that we avenge your brother.
Ever since I got here, I feel like everything we've accomplished has just been luck, and I'm way over my head, and I'm just pretending to be someone that's more capable than I really am.
Ephelien, no! And Cella has like a moment of like girl bonding, and
I mean, that is what's happening here.
yeah, it like puts her hand on her shoulders. You are the one who showed us how to close the portal. You are the one who told off Beastbane. You are the one.
I didn't really know how to close the portals. I just kind of guessed.
But you did it anyway, and you were right, and your intuition was good, and we would never have survived the Underways nor Venice Lake without you. It's no mistake that you're here, and when we face her again, you're going to be ready.
I'm just worried that we're in over our heads.
We probably are, but we're the best this world has got.
That's what makes it fun.
That doesn't make me feel any better about it, but it's probably true.
We're the A team.
Dun, 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 dun.
Cue the theme music. Anyway, and Cella brushes back a white dreadlock from the front of her hair.
Yep.
I'm going to go back downstairs now. You going to come with me? Or do you need to sleep?
I'll try to sleep.
Right. Well, just make sure you don't let anyone else into this room. Second floors and elven establishments are, well, you know. And she gets up. And she leaves.
It's amazing.
She just assumes that the elves here have some weird culture thing that she doesn't know, and so she just goes with it.
There you go. There you go. Well. Okay. I didn't expect that, but all right, that's good.
It kind of killed the
That was
mood, but I had it planned out since earlier when you gave the story, so...
Okay.
No,
Oh.
I think that's as appropriate time as any.
Sure. No, yeah, no, it was good. So we're gonna switch our focus back to the bar, to the party, to Braundir, to Gerbo. What's going on?
In loving the music, it's great.
Braundir is well into his second keg.
Damn. Okay.
Dwarves must have like 5 livers.
Oh yeah, no,
They are livers.
yeah,
Look.
Yeah. Literally resistant to poison in the rules, so...
yeah, literally resistant to poison, which
Yeah.
alcohol is poison.
It is poison.
So, I mean, I guess we just get the best parts of alcohol out of it.
So
But,
I just imagine that like you've got the like someone is helping like steady the keg, and you're chugging,
That's amazing.
chugging.
sure, yeah. At this point, yeah, I've lost all decency.
Yes, I think at this point.
Mhm.
I've even called a bard to sing about me, which is
Yes, right.
which is low level. But say Braundir finishes a drink, and where's Gerbo right now?
Standing
yeah.
on the table, holding my makeshift umbrella.
Like, as a cane, or like you have it open?
It's open.
Okay.
Yep.
Why is it open? I'm even superstitious in like like, it's just like anyway. Braundir's gonna go over to Gerbo.
Okay, I'm gonna try to jump on top of Braundir, like on his back.
Oh my
What the
god.
fuck?
What would I defend that with?
Strength.
Good thing I get advantage strength checks. Great.
Would you have disadvantage because you're drunk though?
So I
but
just get
because you have advantage, it's just a straight roll, I think. Oh!
You crit failed.
Dang.
Did I? Yes, I did.
Wow.
Incredible.
It's a straight roll, so
Yeah.
it's my 15
Unless
versus
he's
his crit
raging.
fail.
All right. Gerbo
So-
is on your back.
Gerbo's on my back.
Yeah.
So I'm going to.
I'm holding on with one arm and I have the umbrella in my other hand.
Can I grab onto him like this?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna fall backwards.
Oh.
I start kicking my legs.
Gerbo, roll sleight of hand, and Braundir, make another strength check.
This
Oh,
Damn.
this is sloppy, guys. I just want you both to know.
of course.
Of course.
I rolled a 32.
Okay,
32.
so Braundir, you try and grab Gerbo,
I almost
got a
had a
hold
crit
of him.
bell. This
Right,
you
but-
can-
Investigation.
but like you have a grip, and then it just instantly it just like you're falling, and Gerbo basically slips out of your grasp and just gets off of your back, just like right before you just fall and land on your on your back. And now you're just on the floor.
People probably cheer in the tavern.
Yeah, people are cheering.
Yeah, it's pretty drunken and beautiful.
You hear the guy in the back again. That was pretty good. Pretty funny.
Okay.
Oh my god. That's
He fell in everything.
I'm gonna say Braundir goes into rage. That makes Braundir, I think, instinctively go into rage.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my god.
And as he gets up, he flips the table towards the nearest wall.
Oh.
Is this
Alright,
the one
so-
I'm standing on?
What
Am I standing on the table that he flips?
are you?
Are you standing on a table? I'm just,
Well-
I'm just
Where did you
flipping the
go?
next. Whatever is closest to me is what I'm flipping.
I imagine that.
I imagined that I was on the ground.
Yeah.
I imagined you were too. So
Yeah.
Pretty good.
this is
Well,
more
I'm
for
glad we're- Right. So you flip the table into the wall, and this table's like, it's got like silverware, it's got steins on it, other stuff. You just flip it, and it just
Cella
crashes.
comes downstairs as Braundir flips the table.
Of course, good timing. And Braundir, at this point, your teeth are more like you're more bear mode, I guess, at this point, because you're in rage.
Yeah.
And when he turns around, I have put the bearskin rug around me.
Oh my god, I forgot about that bearskin
Are you
rug.
taunting him?
And so he's like acting like a bear, and so am I.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Like at this point, like there's a crowd. The crowd's like giving you guys space, and are kind of cheering on what's going on. No one understands what's happening, but they're cheering.
Cella-
Okay.
Cella mutters to herself, "Don't make me show you both up."
My god.
Okay, so
I swear to God.
my
Anyway.
constitution roll was a 13.
Okay.
So
What were you gonna do?
I was
What
gonna
was
see
that for?
I was gonna see if I had my legs underneath me or not enough to make it an accurate attack.
I'm gonna say because dwarves are, yeah. I'd say yeah. You are. You have your legs under you enough. Like you're kind of wobbly, but you're going. Oh God. Braundir, you're taking a. You're just take. Are you just?
I'm fighting Gerbo right now.
All right, sweet. So.
This is a long time coming, everyone.
It is. So Gerbo.
By the way, it wasn't gonna go this way until you jumped on my freaking back.
Yeah, Gerbo, I don't know what this is about, but glad that we could all coordinate an incognito slip out of town quietly to go along with our cover story. Really glad that's turning out just like we planned.
Yes. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be like,
I mean-
surely they weren't the ones that murdered him. Why would they go off and cause all this ruckus in a tavern if they were trying to get away
Right.
quietly?
Yeah.
Right.
So
that'd be
surely
really
it wasn't
stupid.
them.
Jeez. If they were murderers, why would they do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Gerbo, do you take that damage?
7 halved.
But it's 15 hit?
Oh, sorry. No, it doesn't hit.
All right, so
It's
you
too
managed
quick.
to dodge his punch.
Yeah.
What do you do, Gerbo? Do you fight back?
Dodge. I step to the side and I cast Charm Person.
Oh shit!
I cast Charm Person on Braundir.
All right. Well, this is a Wisdom saving throw. What does he have to beat?
Where'd he go? Braundir's gone.
He just. I don't know. He's gone.
He
Oh, now he's
literally.
coming back.
Okay, he just disappeared.
You win. I'm just kidding. Nope.
Nope, he gone.
There he is.
It's coming.
Maybe. Maybe.
I don't know.
Zach's just quit.
He's just gone. He's had enough. Like,
That was
what
ex-
is this? What is this session? What is happening?
I have no
anymore?
idea. It's pretty amazing though. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
I just liked the tavern music going on while Cella and Ephelien share their tragic deaths in their families.
Yeah, that was something.
Well, it was literally going on in the background in the scene, so
Well, right,
Makes
yeah,
sense.
you can't, yeah, right. No, I agree.
It was pretty. It was just very like. It was very environmental.
mhm.
Yes.
Oh, I guess. Should we all try to reconnect or?
I don't know. Wait.
Oh no.
Maybe not. Here we go.
Now we can see you.
Oh, I've been here for like 30 seconds or a minute.
It
Oh,
took.
okay. I was
like-
trying to talk to y'all and I was wondering why you couldn't hear me, but oh,
Yeah, well, we couldn't. So
So yeah, I cast Charm Person on you.
okay.
I don't even know what I'm trying to do here.
Get
My question-
Braundir.
is there any way to avoid Charm Person?
Roll high on your wisdom save.
Roll
Yeah.
high enough on your wisdom save.
Oh, so I have to roll for that?
Yeah, you do. You have to roll for that. Yeah. Roll a wisdom saving throw.
Is Charm Person a trap?
No, I'm afraid not.
Nice.
I kind of want to grab a actual die for this.
I know. So, tell us, Gerbo, what is the saving throw? Like, what does he have to get on your charm person?
I'll let Jet see it, but I want him to roll it, and I want it to be. I want to reveal. I want to reveal what happens.
Oh, very dramatic. Okay.
Yeah. I let Jet see it so that she knew I wasn't lying.
Yep.
All right. Oh God, he's pulling out the dice for this.
Things are getting
Damn.
serious.
This is getting serious, guys.
This could be bad or good. I don't know. I've had some good rolls in mine. All right.
Okay, we get to see it. All right,
Ooh, here we
Okay.
go.
here we go.
I can't even see.
He
Well, it's
switched
a
it
13
to
plus what?
13. I'm just kidding.
What's your? It's got to be plus. What is it, Brett, for a saving throw?
What if
I
it's
think it's
wisdom
just your
saving
wisdom.
throw?
So it's 15.
15.
15.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my god, y'all.
And tie goes to the defendant.
Was it really?
He say
It was a
If it-
15.
if it matches, then
So
he
he got it.
saves. Yeah,
He saved it.
And he knows that you tried to charm him.
barely.
Yeah, he does. He does know it now.
Braundir grapples Gerbo.
Oh, he
Okay.
does it with advantage if you or your companions are fighting it.
I have advantage on it.
If I'm fighting him,
Yeah,
he rolls with advantage, but it
Yeah,
didn't
that's
matter.
right.
Oh,
It didn't
really?
matter. I mean, you could have rolled again. I don't. I mean, it doesn't do anything on a crit, but you
I
can
rolled a
roll again.
13 again. So-
All right, well then it didn't
There you
matter.
go.
Okay, it was meant to be.
If it fails the saving throw, it is charmed by you. If it passes, it doesn't say what happens, but I think it knows that it is.
Well, it does say when the spell ends, the creature knows it was charmed by you. I would assume
Okay.
in the failed attempt, it would immediately know
Mm-hmm.
that you tried to charm them.
Mm-hmm. So I sidestep and cast Charm Person and fail.
Okay, well, Braundir is now going to try and grapple you, so this is a contest of strength and dexterity.
Okay. So
Am I,
which one?
am I still rolling regular strength? I'm not getting my advantage on it.
If you're raging, I'd say you have advantage now.
So I'm rolling dexterity.
That's right.
Oh,
I would have beat you with a regular roll. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Braundir has now got you grappled on the ground.
yeah.
Bron-
Oh.
Oh, you froze up.
Just Gerbo pisses me off so much. It's just crazy.
Genuinely funny.
Gosh. Braundir. You'll never know this, Gerbo, but Braundir was coming over to make amends.
Oh my
And-
god.
And you freaking... Braundir is now just like so...
With your
He's got-
umbrella.
Can I do one head slam like against the ground with that because I'm like really trying not to kill this little gnome
Yeah.
right
yeah,
here.
fair.
I would say roll a d6, Gerbo. I'm not the god, but like right now I really want to be. So all right,
Yeah.
pretty solid head slam. Like,
Like, what were you thinking? Jumping on his
Gosh.
back with an umbrella open. Come on.
Well, Mary Poppins did it.
Okay. So you do that.
Braundir looks. Can we cut the music? I want to say the music has stopped right now.
Okay, that's fine. Let me do that. Let me pause it. I'd say it probably has stopped at this point.
You
You have me, so.
piece of shit. What is wrong with you? You can't think about yourself for one moment. As soon as I think I can trust you, you prove me wrong. You, Gerbo, are your own worst enemy. If I had the balls to kill you here, I would leave your blood across this tavern and never look back. And like my hands are like squeezing into his shoulders right now. Just like,
Can other people hear him say that?
I'd
What?
say so.
I asked if the other people in the tavern can hear him saying that.
I mean, I imagine Braundir is probably speaking pretty loudly at this point because he's enraged and
yeah,
right?
I mean, I'm probably speaking as I'm probably speaking like the same tone, just like very, I don't know, like stern. It's just like, I don't know how I'm going to get along this journey with you if you keep acting like this. Take this as a warning, Gerbo.
And
My life has changed because of you.
as Braundir, as you're saying, right as you say that, a hand comes on your shoulder as people are saying, "Hey, oh, it's Foolin, the barkeep." He says, "Hey, look, come on, let's break it up here. Come on. I think it's time you guys take a bit of a rest."
Braundir retires to his room.
Okay.
Cella just walks slowly over to Gerbo, sits down in a chair close to him, and picks up the nearest flask of beer and takes a long drink from it and looks at Gerbo.
I'd say at this point the crowd has dispersed. Party's over.
You have no idea what you're doing, do you?
And then I stick my hand up for a drink.
No, I'm not giving you a drink. No, you can get it yourself. Not that you need it.
That's probably true.
Look,
It's been quite the day, hasn't it? Quite the few days.
I understand that you're going through something, but you're risking compromising the group. And right now, all I care about is closing the portals. And I can't close portals if we don't have a group. So, whatever personal crisis you're going through, I promise, Ephelien's had worse, and she's holding it together. So,
She's not, but okay.
She's not. Ephelien's holding it, and then we cut to Ephelien, who's just got her. She's curled up in a corner, just
Yeah.
holding him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rana.
She's literally holding her red bandana, which is from her dead brother, with the pin,
Goddamn.
the pin with the winter rose on it that she got from the Everqueen after her brother's death. That's what she's holding.
Yeah.
So there's your cutaway image.
Yeah,
There's your
Ephelien's
cutaway.
holding it together. So, you're provoking Braundir Why are you provoking Braundir? Do you just do things, or do you think about them before you do them?
Oh, well, people have been asking me that question my whole life. And, well, yeah, I've never been in a position where I've been looked at with the same amount of respect as others. And so sometimes you act up to be recognized.
All right. That's fine. But this isn't about recognition. This is about Braundir not murdering you. And I would say, given the recent events, you should consider changing the way that you've been approaching things. Hmm?
Well, I would say to this point, my goals have been, well, everything I've thought about has been done. So maybe I should just focus on what the group needs.
Good man. She claps him on the back and hands him the mug that she's holding.
Okay.
And then I stick my other arm out and I say, "Could you also pass me the umbrella?"
God, Gerbo.
No.
Good.
That's great. That's
I like it.
amazing.
Somehow the druid has become the therapist.
Yeah,
Yes.
know.
that's pretty funny.
I know.
Right, like the darkest, like in terms of like style, is the
Yes.
therapist.
Isn't that usually who ends up being therapist? Those with the most trauma.
Well, she
Right.
might
Yeah,
she might be from the woods in the middle of nowhere, but she does have high wisdom, so that's pretty important.
that's true. She does have high wisdom.
Yes. And she's coming out of her shell now that she
She
knows you
is.
guys. Druids
That's
aren't
right.
all stoic and formal and distant with one another. Druids
Right.
are people too.
Yep.
That's right. Like they could be corrupted, for instance.
They can be corrupted. All right.
Okay.
Any other
So
unfinished business?
Is everyone retiring to bed?
Gerbo is going to just like sit where he's at on the ground.
And have a hard think
Mm-hmm.
about what
Have a-
he's done.
And what
Have a
had
think.
been said.
Yeah, Chella's going to go back to Ephelien's room because that's the only one that she feels safe to go into, and she's gonna curl up in the corner.
Oh,
Yeah.
I assume Ephelien's probably fast asleep by that point.
Probably not.
Maybe.
Pretending to
Oh.
be.
Oh, God.
Sad.
Braundir, are you just passed out asleep,
No, I'm probably laying awake.
raging, angry?
Trying to figure out why and how I even got into this mess, and how much simpler my life would have been if I just stayed in Palan.
You hear the voice of Felix. Haven't heard from him in a little bit.
Yeah,
Says,
old friend, some time that you've chosen to speak up.
well, I have to admit, I was afraid I was going to have to intervene there for a second.
Well, if you would have killed the gnome, I wouldn't have been opposed to it.
I was going to try and prevent exactly that. I understand how you feel, and what he did was beyond reckless. It was horrible. But unfortunately, you've a job to do.
Honestly, Felix, if there's a way I can just help you and leave this party, I would take that route.
Well, Gerbo is bonded as well.
The gnome doesn't deserve a bond.
Damn.
Well, admittedly, Alexa was under rather dire straits when the bond was made with him. But nonetheless, the bond was made. It's not so easily undone.
That has nothing to do with me and wanting this gnome to. What would happen? Okay, Felix, hear me out.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, Gerbo dies. Not necessarily by me, but Gerbo dies. What happens to Alexa? Because cards on the table, far more concerned about Alexa than Gerbo.
Well, Alexa's item that she's bonded to would be destroyed, and that would release her soul. However, she has no corporal form to return to, and so it would simply fade. In short,
So you're saying if I kill Gerbo, I'll also kill Alexa?
right, and it could very well kill you and me as well.
Oh. Wait.
Wait, how? Hold up. How could you and I die with Gerbo and Alexa's bond?
Because the bond, the previous bond that Alexa and I made, and the rest of my own group, that bond still exists.
Are you a bond whore, Felix? Do you have bond? Do you have to worry about who I kill now? Do you have bonds
Yeah.
with the Outland? Like, what's going on here?
Bond whore.
It's a little complicated to explain, to say the least. But before, we were all bonded together, and even in our current states, the bond still exists.
And so, by that logic, if any one of your bonds die, I die with you.
Well, we've avoided it so far, but yes, it could very well happen.
We stuck together now.
Well, sometimes there are disclaimers before you make agreements, Felix. And that's not one that you made with me. Granted,
Indeed.
you brought me back from the dead, but... Shit.
It's a heavy burden, I'm afraid.
So because he's bonded with Felix, he would also die.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Braundir would die if you died, or if Alexa dies.
Damn, son.
They probably
that's-
just don't know. It might just be completely unknown. But
Yeah.
Yeah, or
Well, he
could be
did say
blind.
he's avoided it so far, but, I mean, the possibility exists. So,
I guess most other gnomes are or not gnomes, fae are already bonded, or they're in a state to which you wouldn't know that there was a fae inside them.
well, the whole bonding thing is a completely unique thing. Like, Fae don't do this normally. Like, this is something entirely unique. So it's really very unexplored.
Cella hasn't bonded with
Bertrand, not
that
yet.
No,
fae, right? Yeah.
she's been talking to him more.
Bertrand did mention that
Bertrand.
to Cella in a previous session that there's more to the bonding than you would think. And well,
God, I'm so mad that I would die if Gerbo died right now. I'm just.
that's the
Yeah, I
perfect
want
time for that to be
I
revealed
want
too.
Gareth to roll a new character so bad. Like, I can't
This
tell
makes
you.
a possible Gerbo suicide so it is like crazy.
Wow.
It's the perfect time for him to find that out too.
Yep,
Oh
it
my
is.
gosh.
Yeah,
Felix,
dude, so good.
can you do me a solid and
Yes.
make sure Alexa informs Gerbo of the same thing? Just in case, the man who kills his own brother would kill another person in his party as well.
Of course. I'll be honest, we were both watching, well, your scuffle. And, yeah, she will inform him. And,
This episode got juicy. I thought this was just going to be some inner battle nonsense, but this is juicy stuff, guys. Wow.
well,
Wow.
That's
So-
exciting.
I don't know how to make this any easier for you. I mean, I had personal grievances with those I bonded, but we learned to work through them, and I hope maybe the same can be done here. I know this is a lot.
I suppose stranger things have happened. I can't say that it's something I would look forward to, honestly. Separation from here would be my best bet. But I've got you, Felix. And I know that we can at least attempt to make the realm a safer place. I'd have to be beside that godforsaken gnome. I suppose I can power through it.
Well, unfortunately, the stakes are, well, they can't get much higher than this, really. You know what's at stake. I've told you as much as I can.
Doesn't make
And
it easy.
I honestly didn't really bring up the whole implications of a group bonding thing, but, well, I didn't think it'd be relevant. But here we are.
Here we are. So, off to the Wind Simple.
Aye.
You've been a good friend, Felix.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way.
Even though you've kind of sentenced me to death sooner or later.
Well, I will say this. It's possible we could prevent the destruction of this world, and maybe you wouldn't even need to be alive to see it. I'm not even sure if we can stop it. Perhaps we can slow it.
Honestly, I'm taking this day to day. My interest in this has faded. My intentions are not of my own. If I can help those around me, I'll do it. As long as I could stand. But I'll say I have my reservations to that gnome.
I understand. I also don't particularly like him, but this is what we have. And for now, I will leave you to your thoughts.
Braundir takes his rest.
Okay.
Hmm.
Gerbo, as you're laying on the floor, thinking to yourself, you hear a voice you haven't heard in a long time in your head. You know, I had a lot of doubts about you, and I think they were right. You are an impulsive idiot.
Quote of the day.
Oh.
I didn't want to say anything earlier, but at this point, it's, well, I feel like it has to be said. Does Gerbo say anything?
No.
And also, I think a little information might help you change your tune a little bit. You and Braundir's lives are connected. It's very likely that if you die, or Braundir dies, it's not only Felix or myself that could die, it could be the other two that die with them.
So we're intertwined.
For better or for worse, yes.
We are Fey brothers.
I guess you can think of it that way, sort of.
Interesting. Well, I don't have a good
Please do never think of me as your brother.
I don't have a good
Oh,
track
God.
record with brothers,
Yes, clearly.
but
That's a bit of some gallows humor there, Gerbo.
yes, I was thinking that as well. Interesting. Well, I feel very.
Just
I
know
feel
that
like I
it's
feel like
not
I
just
could
your
use
life.
you in that skirmish. I should. I didn't really take advantage of my springy heels at all, did I?
Yes, and I probably wouldn't have let you.
Oh, that could have ended really poorly. I'm really glad I didn't try then.
You're talking about your scuffle with Braundir just now,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't think of
Yeah.
that, like how the Fae can refuse their powers in
That
the
is-
items that they're in.
Mhm.
That makes sense,
I mean,
though.
I mean,
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense.
Mhm.
right?
They're
No,
upset,
like,
man.
Well,
like,
does Braundir know?
he does. Felix just informed him.
So I could. Are you saying that he is going to be more mindful of you being alive?
I
Is
think
Does Cella know this?
it's you that needs to
He's
be.
trying to kill me.
What?
Cello, she recommended that I die. Does Cella know this? Is Cella evil?
Well, no, she doesn't.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the only way our bond with Bertrand can be activated again is if Chella bonds with him. But, well, I don't really see that happening soon. Bertrand has always been rather cautious, and given what I've run into with you, that is well-earned caution. At any rate,
Well,
I think you both need to be mindful of the fact that your lives are no longer solely your own.
I feel like this should have been in some kind of disclaimer. Like, you didn't tell me this.
Well, at the time, I was screaming in pain and agony and being tortured. I didn't exactly have much time to allow for much of anything. The only reason I bonded with you is because you were the first one there.
Well, beggars can't be choosers. That's what they say.
Indeed.
Well, what do you know about Bertrand?
Other than he was a bookworm. Kept to himself a lot. He and Felix got into fights every so often. Not like your fights with Braundir.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, big bookworm.
I think at this point I use the umbrella and like prop myself up. And
What is with the umbrella? I'm just curious at this point.
well, you never know if it's going to rain, and as we saw with Cella's outfit, you can't afford to ruin a good wardrobe. You'll be stuck wearing old men's clothes, and with a person my size, there's not many of us around. I can't afford to be wearing large elven clothes. So that's why.
Well,
Plus, we look this good. You can't get wet.
just get some rest.
Are you jealous of my umbrella?
Oh gosh.
Do you think that there's a fae in my umbrella or something? Are you jealous that I use my umbrella more than I use my heels?
That's awesome.
No. Oh. No wonder Braundir wants to kill you sometimes. Oh. No. It was simple, idle curiosity. At any rate, I'll leave you to your thoughts.
I walk towards the door and like open the door and like look outside towards. I'm gonna like walk around and look out like on the dock.
Okay. Alright. You just kind of looking out, kind of just left with your thoughts.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I guess that's a good a place as any to end the session, I suppose.
Nice.
Productive.
That was.
Productive.
I didn't expect.
Yeah, I
it
did not.
to occur at the,
I didn't see that coming either.
That was pretty great. Like that was fun.
So many things happened at the dock. We're gonna have to listen back to this one. This is really fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot of plot relevant things that happened, which I did not anticipate at all.
Backstory building.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Character development.
Yeah.
That's right. Very important.
That's good.
Oh man.
But we didn't thump on a melon again.
Oh shit! Gerbo finds a melon on the dock and thumps it.
Important. It's got to be done.
Yep.
So yeah, this has gotten real heavy real fast. Like this is so
Gerbo's
weird.
fault, as usual.
I know, as usual.
He's just the catalyst.
Yeah, that's kind of how things go sometimes.
I just
Right.
want to
I mean,
like.
Keep it like
I
that.
just want to rewind to like episode 3 of the first campaign series when Nahid got mad at Braundir for bonding Felix. and just
Yeah.
feel a little vindicated about that. It still probably did a good thing on the whole, but
Yeah.
now you're stuck with them.
I mean, Braundir would have died had he not bonded with Felix.
Yeah.
The party may have died, actually.
May
in
have
that
died, yeah.
situation.
Yeah. He did
Because I went to
kind of-
0 HP, I would have had to have my rolls bring me out.
Yeah,
But-
you guys weren't high level enough, really, to
Yeah,
heal him at the time.
Yeah.
Narrative-wise, looking back on it from a year and a half, 2 years later, probably would have died. As far as the storybook is written.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I remember that session and being totally off guard by Druid bringing Felix in and feeling very skeptical with Felix.
Right.
I
Yeah.
vividly remember being very, very skeptical with Felix.
Yeah.
And so I can't say I'm surprised, but also in this very moment, I'm too far in, and I'm more mad that I can't kill Gerbo than I am mad that I die if Gerbo dies. So
Right. You might just be spiteful enough to kill Gerbo anyway.
yeah, honestly, this is the
Genuinely
darkest
good.
timeline for Braundir. So yeah, I
It
mean,
actually is. I'm
It
so
is.
sorry.
I
Braundir.
was thinking about this. I mean, both Gerbo and Braundir are kind of in a dark place. I was just thinking, like, Braundir must be so lonely because now he can't go back to Durin and like caused eternal shame to himself and like his family and everything when he resurrected his dad. And so like he doesn't have a lot of motivators from a family standpoint and like doesn't have very many friends except for our stone singer friend whose name's escaping me right this very second.
Yeah.
It's escaping me
know.
right now.
His
I have
friends
to
from the other
remember.
container in the Badlands.
Mhm.
Gerbo has betrayed him.
Yeah, but y'all, I think that this is going into it, but like I really feel like there was celebration, there was like dealing with the moment and like the anger and like dealing with that in a very physical way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's almost like very brotherly,
Except
And it's like,
Kind of.
you know what I'm saying? Like just a very physical manifestation of like, like battling and like, going at it,
All of it was
Yeah.
very
Daz,
realistic.
That's it, Daz.
Very
Yeah.
realistic character development. All of it was.
It is, actually.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to think like Braundir, like what is Braundir in it for now?
I mean, I think he said it to Felix, like, I'm just existing right now. And I know that now I have the guilt of if I die, I also kill Gerbo, which is if I want to go and die myself or live on my own and do my own adventure and risk my own life, I now risk somebody else's life without asking for it. And so now it's like I have no choice but to be by somebody I don't want to be around to make sure that like wherever I have to go, he goes or whatever. So it's like I've now been tied into this weird situation, and both Braundir and Zach don't want to be friends with Gerbo. Gerbo's driving me crazy right now.
Well, I
I
think-
think Gareth is playing. To Gareth's credit, he is playing the hell out of Gerbo.
Yeah.
So good job, Gareth. I hate your
Yes.
character.
I
hate Gerbo specifically.
Like, that's what the chaotic.
I mean,
character
it's like
is.
I think this is like
Mhm.
yeah, like you're pulling something out of the inside of you that you've been waiting on, like to release, and it's happening to my character, and I'm really frustrated with it. Like I would be more entertained if it was on like somebody else, but
Oh god.
I
so
feel like-
anyway,
I
Yeah,
just
so I
want to
think-
apologize to you, Zach, because I don't want it to feel like this was something like me like forcibly railroading stuff. Because
Oh,
this was
no,
an
I-
aspect of the bond that I planned for a long time.
Yeah.
No, I'm not
Yeah.
mad at you at all, Drew. If anything, it
Yeah.
makes the story more vibrant.
Yeah.
Especially when it was revealed, it's just perfect.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was.
Yeah.
right.
So I think that when you ask what is Braundir in it for, he's in it as his lawful good side to not kill somebody who didn't ask to be killed, and that person is right now his worst enemy. Not his worst enemy, but his most annoyed enemy.
I was gonna say,
Obviously.
not the guy who like killed your father and took over your throne.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
probably
Well,
his not his queen of spades instead of his or I guess his king of spades instead of his ace of spades. So
Close
just like at this moment, at this very ATVM, at this very moment, like
Right.
that's Gerbo. So
well, the
Yeah.
lawful good player character having friction with the chaotic neutral player character is like the oldest staple of D&D since the beginning of time.
It definitely is.
I love it so much.
But
Gareth,
yeah,
are
I
you
guess,
chaotic evil or chaotic neutral?
Chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
sometimes evil for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that just means that you can be chaotic evil, if anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
you're in it for yourself and nothing else.
Yeah, which is like why in the moment, like I both like cheersed Braundir and then jumped on his back. You know.
Yeah. I mean, you're playing it textbook.
Yeah.
I just hate your character so much. God, I just hate it, and I don't mean to say that so I entice you to do more shitty things. It's just like I hope you can also play for the narrative because like I'm feeling like I'm internally feeling Braundir right now. It's like oh god, like it's
Oh.
exhausting, honestly.
It's very
So,
funny.
it's very fun to do and look back on, but man,
Oh, that's so good.
It's hard to do in the moment. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. No, yeah, I feel it.
We all bring small parts of ourselves to our characters.
yeah. So I
Yes.
think that to kind of roll it back around. I think that
Connection,
that-
though, I feel like that will bring some clarity and like will strengthen the connection.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So right now, I mean, hopefully, yeah. Well, I'm sure it'll roll around. But as Braundir's biggest weakness is, I was looking through my old character sheet. Well, I guess my current character sheet. But when I look at my features and traits, and I go to description. What is it? When I talk about myself,
Oh yeah.
I talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
how I will like sacrifice myself. My biggest weakness is sacrificing myself for someone else.
Yeah.
On my notes, proactive and loyal, helps others more than himself, frequently takes the fall, puts himself in harm's way. So like that goes for just kind of rushing in to take literally saving Gerbo from death, a death sentence, and then also now saving myself in order to save Gerbo on both fronts, in order to proactively and then reactively keep somebody that that doesn't necessarily benefit me alive. And so I think that's Braundir's biggest weakness is that, and I'm sure that because of that he may forgive Gerbo even when he doesn't deserve it. But gosh,
Yeah.
it's shitty, pretty much.
It's quite a convoluted thing.
If I was to use one word about our relationship, so but that's why we play this game, man. Like this is what's fun about it, is feeling these things and living it out. It's really cool. I'm really stoked to be a part of it.
Yeah,
So
me too. It's turning. I mean, it's always been fun, but it's turned into something really cool. I feel like we've all really settled into our characters and our group dynamic.
I think it's been easier to have a smaller party.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like it was fun to have a big party and have big battles, but the battles did last longer, and we weren't able to get as much narrative things in. And also, I think their party was more battle oriented, and ours is more narrative oriented.
Mm-hmm.
And which is fine. It's just we have two different things that we're interested in.
Yes.
Not to say that one's more important than the other, but
Right.
I do really enjoy this more than just going in and rolling a bunch of dice. I think this is what I'm in it for.
Drew's been a very flexible DM.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't plan for every single thing in the session. I just normally am just reacting to what you guys do most of the time.
Well, I
There are
think
certain nuggets and kernels that I put in, though. What?
I think everyone contributed a lot
Yeah.
to this character development session, including the DM with the Fae stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, totally. That is so cool.
Yep.
Yes.
It makes me very happy.
And thanks for throwing us a bone with Abdeus.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I feel like, I mean, it just ties back into Braundir's own backstory, how he got his name. Where did he get his name? Well, it was in Southern Pawan.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
that's how you tie that all together. So
Maybe Braundir can rediscover himself and his purpose when we're in Abdeus.
Maybe.
maybe he,
Right. I'm gonna tell you right now, Braundir is depressed AF and just going just not to kill somebody who didn't ask for it, I guess.
listen.
Almost a slave to a Fae, pretty much at this point.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if Felix would characterize it as
He
that,
would
but-
not. He would not.
Hmm.
And I would not want him to feel that way. But that's the situation. Is where it's like, okay, well, I'll just go and keep doing what I'm good at and kill baddies and do it until I die. Yeah.
Braundir needs at least one ray of sunlight, something.
Shoot.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not. He's in Sad City, USA right now.
Sad city. Yeah.
No, only tragedy, only death, only sadness. No one gets anything. No one is
It's been very much yeah.
downward slope. Yes.
Well, just
That's
like
yeah.
like starting to get good. It was like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like things are going well. Things are going well.
Stock
things
market.
are really bad.
COVID hit. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
This whole group really
I was
needs
thinking-
Gerbo to help balance it out, because the rest of us are
Yep.
pretty
Yep.
moody.
I did think about it for a bit, and I think the NPC with the happiest, and I kid you not, probably the happiest, like, in the best situation, I guess, is probably Beastbane.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Bastard. Oh gosh.
Pretty
Like,
much everything's
he
going his way.
He has achieved most of what he set out to do, except for, well, completely doing away with you, Braundir.
Yeah.
But, like, all the other, like, NPCs I've come up with, almost all of them have some sort of tragic element.
Life in the Middle Ages was hard. It's for real.
Right. Like, even Volmer, I mean, obviously Lorson, but Volmer and Lorson, even before, well, Gerbo killed Lorson,
Right.
there was their father, Emmaus. I mean, that's
Yeah.
pretty tragic.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we left
mean-
a lot of unsolved stuff up there in the Amakura Forest.
Yeah.
We also left a lot in Durin, so we'll come
I
back
know
to it.
it's hard. Like
Right.
I want to chase. Like part of me really wants to explore the side plots and like look for the fountain of wishes
Like on
and
Pool of Wishes.
yeah, the pool of wishes.
Pool of
and
Wishes,
save
yeah.
Emmaus and do all these things. But Cella is on a mission. Like
Mhm.
she's only
That's right.
You're playing Skyrim and you're doing the main campaign.
yeah. Well, she left
Mhm.
she only left the coven to
Mhm.
set this
You
right.
don't want to go to thieves' school.
Right. Exactly. Well, right.
You don't want to join the Thieves Guild? Come on,
Yeah.
it'll only take you like maybe 30 hours.
Or what's
mean-
the group where you like turn into a werewolf? What's that one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
have that expansion pack. Yeah.
No,
You
you
go-
that was built into that was like the first town that you came to, the first dragon you fought. I
Yeah.
probably think the name of it, but not long enough.
Whiterun. It's in Whiterun.
Yeah,
Whiterun.
thank you.
Run.
I don't remember the name of the group, but I remember the name of the town.
Is this in Oblivion?
In Skyrim.
Skyrim.
Skyrim? Oh, I never played anything past Morrowind. Kitty, kitty. Oh,
You
little eyes. You chubby chubbers. Chubber chubbers.
It's a cheesy genie.
Also,
Returning as the married.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
right.
yes.
Playing,
I
yeah.
also want to refresh everyone's minds on what the hag was or the witch. That.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know. I clicked it open. She's awful
Yeah,
looking.
that's pretty bad.
Thank you for
news
haunting my
bears.
dreams. So she was. We saw her in the vision that we saw when we were with Gearhead.
Your head. Yeah, that's right.
She's in Gearhead's memories with the outsider.
Yes.
That's right.
Oh.
The hag and the outsider.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah, dude. I'm changing his.
We need to put all these handouts in a folder or something, so there's not.
I
don't have to
know.
look
I
through all
really
of
need to
them.
do that. The
Yeah.
outsider.
Yeah.
It's now his title's been changed. It's now the
I'm
outsider.
gonna try to update my D&D campaign notes that I shared with y'all. The last update
Yeah.
was on May 19th. I stopped taking notes after that. And so a lot's
I'm gonna have
happened,
to-
So maybe I'll go back through our recorded sessions and
I'm also
listen to
gonna
them
have.
and make notes.
I also need to quit being a terrible DM and actually write out stuff for you guys to read.
That is totally okay.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
like I was going through my notes to see names in Northwich and stuff, and that was actually helpful. But
Yeah,
because typically we wouldn't remember
but
that.
I'm gonna have to. But part of that is I'm gonna have to listen through all these streams. I'm gonna have to endure the sound of my own voice.
Oh
and
yeah,
that's always the worst.
Mhm.
No, you're good.
that is the worst thing. I love it.
No.
Well, what is everybody's availability coming up? I think we're also free again next Tuesday. I don't know what your schedule is, Jet.
Yes. So I'm about to start a real rotation again. But let me see if I have my call days on the calendar already. Yeah, okay, I do have my call days. So
So I'm not going to be available next week.
That's right. I remember that. I remember hearing.
Yeah.
We just remember
Oh,
talking, and we
okay.
didn't remember.
so I'm not crazy.
Yeah,
Better.
we didn't remember.
I'll be out at Lake Norfolk with my family.
That's
We'll
so
be staying
fun.
a week. Yeah.
That's good.
Nice.
Well, so then we
I-
should look at the second.
Well, that would be a Sunday. I mean, I could probably do the Sunday.
Oh, just I mean that week. We should check for.
Oh yeah. Right.
So I can do.
I'm available every day right now.
I cannot do that Tuesday.
Well.
What about Monday or Wednesday?
Monday or Wednesday
Yeah.
probably would be good.
We're talking Wednesday next week?
Uh,
Yeah.
The 3rd or the 5th of August.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm good either one of those days.
Good.
Cool.
Well, I think that'll work then. And yeah, then there's the Badlands.